our cultural center.
Our beautiful architecture.
Welcome to Riga.
Welcome to Riga.
Let's race.
Hello and welcome to the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship presented by Monster Energy. We are in the Latvian capital Riga for round 9 of the season. This beautiful city on the Baltic Sea hosts the world's best rallycross drivers for a third time. The Bikaniki National Sports Base has a long history of motorsport, and over the last 3 seasons, the purpose-built RX track has set new standards on the rallycross calendar. For the first time since round 3, Johan Kristoffersen was not on the front row for the final. Instead, it was an all-Audi affair, and off the line Andreas Backerud and Matthias Ekström cemented their position, with Kristoffersen in third. Lap 2 and Kristoffersen jokered and found himself 5th in traffic. As the jokers played out, he entered the last lap in 4th, still behind the 2 Audis, who to many people's dismay hadn't covered off the reigning champ and was still to joker. The maths was simple. Backerud had a 1.3 second lead over Kristoffersen, and the joker took 1.1. Just 200 metres later at the joker exit, the capacity crowd held their breath to see if Audi's tactics had paid off. To their and everyone else's amazement, Kristoffersen had cut the deficit in the only clean air he had all race, emerging with just 2 corners to go to take his 7th win of the season. But despite Kristoffersen's utter dominance this season, the statistics tell a different tale. France was the closest finish for all 6 cars in a final in World RX history. But none of that really matters to Johan Kristoffersen. The only stat that bothers him is the massive 59-point championship lead he has over Andreas Backerud in second. After that, as the stats suggest, it's very competitive, with just 14 points separating second place to Sebastian Loeb in 6th, who incidentally was in that second place entering the last round. In the team standings, PSRX Volkswagen Sweden extend their lead over EKS Audi Sport to 62 points. To look forward, sometimes you need to look back, and for Petter Solberg, Latvia does not hold happy memories. In 2016, his title challenge ended here after a hard-fought event with rival Matthias Ekström. And in 2017, this massive first corner incident broke 2 of Solberg's ribs and his collarbone. This is the only event on the calendar where he has never reached the final, something he wants to put right in 2018.
The semi was bad. Okay, big impact, so a lot of G, but nothing happened to the car. But for me, it was 2 broken rib and the collarbone. And then at the same time, we won the team championship, and Johan won the driver's championship. And all the team was out. It was mixed feeling, you know. It was very, very tough. But when they stood beside the bed and said, "Oh, we can come here and be with you tonight" and stuff, and I said, "You have won, you go. Take the team, enjoy, and do it properly when you win something, you know." I'm better form, and I'm really motivated, and well, I hope to win the next 3 races now, you know, that is the plan, you know. So I hope it works. I will do everything I can. 110% sure.
Another driver who will be desperate to make the final on home soil is Jānis Baumanis, currently the only Latvian in World RX. Following his appearance in the final in Canada, he will feel more than confident in repeating that act and hopefully going 1 stage further to grace the World Championship podium for the first time in his career.
In Canada, that was good feeling, definitely, but I think still better result was last year here in Bikaniki. It means much more when you can drive all in the home race. It's quite a brilliant feeling when they are cheering for you and applauding when we are passing by every time, and you cannot even get this feeling in France or in Sweden. That's why it's special.
But Baumanis isn't the only Latvian on track. Riga is also the title decider for the Euro RX Supercar Series. Fellow Latvian Reinis Nitish is dominating the championship. He comes into the event with a huge 26-point lead, and if he can qualify in 13th place or better, he's the champion guaranteed.
Only aim, win the race. or just do really well, because we were counting already those points in France too much, and I didn't finish where I wanted to finish. But now it's home event. Pressure is quite high. Sure, I want to do the best here. That's why I'm quite focused. Team have done a brilliant job, prepared the car. I feel relaxed and ready.
Liam Doran stormed back onto the World RX scene in a style we have come to know and love in France. In his typically no-holds-barred approach, he showed zero fear of reputation gained since his absence, taking the fight to Kristoffersson. He's back for a second race with GCK in Latvia, and no doubt will want to show the pack he is here to race hard again.
First event back after 2 years, and for it to have gone as well as it did is a credit to the team and the car and the opportunity I was given, really. The Q3 P2 position was more than I could ever have imagined. But the fact that I was in there challenging on more than one occasion with Johan, who is quite clearly the #1 competitor in the sport at the moment, was all right. It didn't last very long, but I was there. That's the point. And yeah, it was great. Absolutely amazing.
Before the action gets underway, let's take a look at the track. Riga, Latvia, the Bikanjeki Sports Stadium, a fantastic Soviet-era racetrack with a brand new rallycross track at the heart of it, 1,294 metres long. This place is very abrasive and the dirt has a lot of grip. We ride on board with Baumanis. He crosses the start-finish line into turn 1 and turn 2. Expect some carnage in here off the start. Using a little bit of handbrake to turn the car in. Packed grandstands on the right-hand side. The Latvians there to support their home drivers. A flick for Baumanis to get the car turned into turn 3. Look at the outside. There's a wall so close, no runoff at all. This is where Solberg lost the championship. Into the left-hander. Baumanis again is sideways to get the car out to the left and then into the right. Close on the barrier, on the gas again, pulling gears up towards the jump. Watch for him to squash it on the brakes. There, just noses the car down, take the speed off, make it fly flat into the gravel. Hairpin now. Handbrake again, quite sideways. The Joker lap splits off to the left here, and now it's key to hit the curbs. Baumanis gets the first one on the right-hand side. This next one's a big curve, but he'll use all of it up to the bollards on the right, and now into the final corner. Watch for the Joker lap merge on the left. Handbrake and gas, and you're flying towards the finish line. A full house of fans packed the grandstands in Riga, eagerly awaiting the action, which started with a great Q1 for 2016 race winner Sebastian Loeb. After a difficult weekend at Loiak, Peugeot were keen to improve on the similarly grippy Latvian track, and with the whole shot at the start, Loeb was in the clear to bang in the laps and set the target time. His teammate Timmy Hansen got a good start but was outmanoeuvred into turn 2 by Nico Muller in the third Audi. Hansen was clearly quicker around the Bikanjeki circuit, but had to wait until Muller ran wide in turn 3 for a gap to slot the Peugeot through. The delay meant he couldn't match Loeb. Audi teammates Ekstrom and Backer had faced Peter Solberg in their encounter. Keen to lay the Joker lap demons of France to rest, the EKS Audi Sports Squad responded to Solberg's Joker immediately, with a great lap from Ekstrom, seeing him take the checkered flag, but still not the fastest time. The world champion lined up in the last race, and despite some contact in turn 1, Kristoffersson got away clean, unlike Liam Doran, who was collected heavily by Niklas Gronholm and had to nurse his GCK machine to the finish. As that finish line approached, it looked like Loeb had held on, but Kristoffersson had stolen the Q1 win by the finest of margins, just 9,000ths of a second. The roller coaster of results continued in Q2. Scheider won race 1, Heikkinen took race 2, while some of those who'd had good results in the first session started to struggle. Nico Müller fell victim to some turn one carnage. Schischerit had contact with Gronholm on the brakes, and his full throttle recovery collected Müller as he turned into turn two. That racing incident left fellow Audi driver Andreas Backerud with a clear track, which he used to good effect to take the win. The biggest losers in Q2, though, were Peugeot. Despite clever tactics from Timmy Hansen at the start, he could only capitalise on his teammate Loeb's misfortune. And things were about to get worse for both. With smoke pouring from their front left corners, both cars seemed to have suffered similar failures, leaving Johan Kristoffersen to mop up the honours once again, and Peugeot with a very long night ahead of them.
Q2 was not the best for us, as we could see. Seb damaged the front, which broke, I think, on third lap after that. And Timmy had the incident also. It touched a little barrier and also had a problem in the front suspension. So similar problem on the both cars. Of course it's frustrating, you are a little down, but we need to turn that into something positive and continue, because, you know, rallycross is still rallycross and a lot of things can happen. So we just need to see another day tomorrow.
Here are the standings then at the end of day one. Kristoffersen winning both sessions is at the top of the table from Ekström, Solberg and Backerud. Everybody else has had at least one not ideal session. Loeb, Gronholm, Haken and Timosjanov. Baumanis is currently in at home in Latvia. Schischerit, Dorn, Timmy Hansen down in 12th. But there are plenty of big names looking for a place in the semi-finals.
So, first thing this morning, Oliver Bennett, you're out in the first race. Now, conditions look like they've changed a lot with the overnight rain. Talk us through what you're expecting on the circuit.
Yeah, I mean, we've done 2 laps this morning. It was quite slippy. The tarmac's actually a little bit slippier than the loose is, so it's a bit different to what I'm used to. But I think it's going to dry up quickly. It might even be dry now, so I'm not too worried on the setup.
And in terms of this circuit, how much are you enjoying going flat out on this purpose-built rallycross track?
Yeah, it's a great track. It's the longest track we've done, which caught me out yesterday. I've done 3 laps instead of 4, which won't do today. But yeah, it's a tough track to learn. There's a lot of corners, and it's quite technical, so it's actually probably the toughest track I've drove this year.
And in terms of the jump, do you have to squash it, or do you just go flat out and fly as far as you can?
You have to tap the brake a little bit just before, because I think if you went too far, you might not make the next corner. So yeah, but it's a good jump.
Obviously, a season in World RX is good for you, but there's an announcement this weekend about ARX. Tell us what's the next step for you.
Yeah, I'm back in the ARX this weekend. I was there in end of this month. I was there before, and it was a great track. The Mini really suited that track. It was small and tight, and it felt to me like I had great pace there. We had a few engine issues at the time, so I'm hoping without any issues, we'll be fighting hard for the finals.
Very good, but good luck this morning in Q3.
Yeah, cheers, thank you.
Right, let's see if we can grab a word with Alex Wirtz. No, he's not there. Let's go this way. So if we can just grab a quick word with you, Nico. How are you coming to terms with a weekend here in Rallycross in Riga?
Well, having lots of fun, first of all. Secondly, unfortunately, yesterday we got put a bit on the back foot with the incident in Q2. So today, with a track that seems to be improving lap by lap, that's maybe not the best situation, but we try to make the best out of it and still try and fight for a place in the semis, which from pace I think should be no problem. And yeah, from there on we see how things go.
It's very impressive to see you adapt to this car and the pace, but how difficult is it to get used to the amount of contact that you faced yesterday?
Well, I don't really think yesterday was a normal case of contact. It was just things getting super tight and something you don't really want to be involved in. And then Gerlach has tried to save it, and instead of lifting off and trying to avoid the contact, yeah, he hoped to get his car turned into the right direction again, but actually hit me. So that was it for me in Q2. And I think things like that can happen, unfortunately, but we hope to have a cleaner one today.
And just in a word, what do you think the conditions will be like compared to yesterday?
Well, definitely the rain overnight has changed the track conditions slightly, so we hope to adapt best possible, and hopefully there will not be too much track evolution now in Q3, but yeah, looking forward.
Good luck, thank you.
Cheers, man.
Hello, my name's Andrew Coley. Joining me on commentary this weekend is former World RX driver Guy Wilkes, and reporting from the paddock and the pre-grid, Neil Cole. Here's how we stand as we head into Q3. Kristoffersen so far winning both the sessions. Ekstrom P2, Solberg, Backrud, Sebastian Loeb, Niklas Gronholm, Heikkinen doing well in 7th, Timosjanov is in 8th, but it's the bottom half of the table where the fight is really at. Only 12 can go through to the semis. First race of Q3, unusual to see the Hansens in this one, but look at Kevin, lifts just a little bit and that allows Timmy Hansen to get the whole shot. Nico Muller tried to go around the outside. Timmy needing a good run after the suspension issues yesterday. Kevin Hansen needing an excellent run. He was down in P17 overnight and stuck here behind Muller. Timmy checking out the front, took the checkered flag with an amazing time. On to race 2, Sebastian Loeb on the inside, pretty much the only driver to get away unscathed from a carnage first couple of corners. Contact between everybody else. Shisharik was chasing him, but Loeb was on a big push to try and match the time of his teammate. Joker laps later on, but look at the inside. It's Wirtz here who has the problem. Gets the car too sideways on the gravel, clips the barrier on the inside and has a spin. This was him being chased down at the Joker lap exit. Sebastian Loeb taking his Joker right at the end of the race, and it wouldn't actually be enough for him to match the time of his teammate Timmy Hansen, just 2/10 in it. Janis Baumanis with absolutely tons and tons of fans here this weekend. Him, his brother Artis in Super 1600, Reinis Nitish in European Rallycross Championship for Supercars. The Latvians are out in force to support their home drivers. At the minute, Baumanis in the middle of the grid is in P9. Niklas Gronholm on the inside, 6th after Q2. Timo Scheider just outside the semi-finals. 4 new tyres to try and drag himself in. Timosjanov 8th, good run by the Russian. Liam Doran currently in 11th after a pretty tricky day 1. Can he move up? Interesting Renault badge on the front of the GCK machine this weekend. We haven't seen that before. Good to see.
If you just look, actually, you can see that the sun hasn't bathed the track on P4 and 5 yet.
Yeah.
So the heat's in the tarmac more on pole. So
it actually could have gone back the other way.
I guess better P1 and 2.
So Gronholm can get a good start from the inside, maybe. Not the best reaction time. Timosjanov beating him, and so is Baumanis, but still on the inside. In theory, if he breaks late enough, Doran goes super wide up the inside. Doran's going to try and go around the outside. Liam Doran, very nice job in the back of the grid. Baumanis is going to push him out, though. Now it's a drag race between him. Timosjanov goes up his inside, Gronholm around his outside. So Liam's been completely mugged on the exit of turn 2. He's in the side of the Russian. Bit of tyre smoke from Timmer. Liam goes around the outside, can't get through, though, and finally they're in a line. And the big winner here, of course, is Timo Scheider.
This is going to be interesting. You've got 2 guys that are prepared to get their elbows fully extended, P4 and P5.
If I was Liam, I'd go Joker right now. He's
yes,
at the back
absolutely.
of the pack anyway, might as well start picking him off. So yeah. I reckon that's what Mansfield will do unless anybody else goes Joker. Gronholm goes, Liam goes with him. Yeah. Okay, so Liam's gone Joker with Niklas Gronholm. These guys now going to try and chase down the pack out front. Timo Scheider is going to be the first man to round the last corner. There he goes. So Timo in the Seat Ibiza run by Rennie Munich's squad, hoping to improve on his overnight position of 13th. Timo, yes, actually was 7th in Q2, but he was 18th in Q1 with a problem with the car.
Yeah, tyre smoke's pouring off Timosjanov's car there, but nothing he'll worry about, just obviously where the bumper's folded up against the rear tyre.
Clever stuff from Liam, wasn't it? We saw Timmy Hansen do it yesterday. Right, see the carnage in turn 1, nearly got away with it, and then because he ran out onto the gravel, couldn't get the traction.
Couldn't get the traction, couldn't get the drive, and we saw yesterday Sebastian Loeb got nudged into the tyres, or forced into the tyres almost, in a bit of a duel.
Timosjanov up the back of Janis Baumanis. So Baumanis raced in front of his home crowd. Baumanis goes Joker. That releases Timmer. So Timmer's got 1 lap now potentially to try and get in front of Baumanis. Depends when he wants to Joker. He might wait, of course, until the last one. Baumanis over the jump. This is the the Joker line. You see it's flat through there, the big curve only on the standard lap. Gronholm around the outside. I mean, Gronholm's got it. Can Liam get him or not? Liam can't. So Liam is at the back of these. Baumanis has been caught by Gronholm.
Yeah, but that was a big ask to Joker Baumanis and ask him to get out in front of Gronholm. He didn't have 3 seconds gap. He had about 2.7. So
he's responded to them, hasn't he? But even with 1 lap.
I think he should have had another lap in clear air.
Well, Liam moved. Liam 1 wheel on the gravel guy. Massive tank slapper on the way down to the next corner. On board with Baumanis.
Yeah, lovely section here through the forest. It's so picturesque, and you love it as a driver. Here, as they set it over the jump, big break now into the hairpin. And obviously we saw Sebastian Loeb previously.
Liam
nice
in the back of Baumanis.
Yes,
Baumanis gets pushed
He's not
wide.
going to have the line, though.
No, so Liam is all over and gives him another nudge. Baumanis is sideways again. Liam will now try inside. Baumanis is sideways. Look for Liam up his inside. Over the gravel. He's sideways again. Liam's not up the inside because Baumanis is able to shut the door on the way down towards the curb.
He's lost a lot of time.
Right back.
Yeah.
So
what if he
Liam
got loose on the exit coming onto the gravel before the jump?
I wonder if Liam's got a problem. No such problem for Scheider. Onto the last lap then. Scheider and Timizyanov, the only drivers yet to go. Niklas Gronholm.
They're not fast though on lap time. Schneider's putting in 49.8s, 49.7s, you know.
And the gap's only 2.2 between Timizyanov and Gronholm. So Gronholm here doing a good job. As Guy has said, the lap times aren't quite there. We had a fair bit of carnage at the start. But we're looking for Niklas Gronholm, who's on a big push in the background in the Hyundai. Here we go. Target time 3:21. We don't think it's on. Guy Wilkes has had a look at the timing screens. Into the joke lap. It's tidy, but Timizyanov misses the apex, runs wide. His teammate Gronholm's on the inside lap. Over the jump. He'll hop the curb. Gronholm versus Scheider. I think Scheider's going to take it. Gronholm will have the better line on the exit than his teammate. Scheider takes the win from Gronholm. Timizyanov comes across the line in third. But he is really slow, Guy, compared to the others. 5.6 seconds down.
Yeah, they're dropping a second a lap.
Why?
I have no idea. The cars all looked quite soft and baggy, but, you know, there's a bit of carnage into turn 1, 2, but still...
That, it was pretty clear, wasn't it?
Yeah, nobody had any problems. So I think it's only got to be set up, really.
3:27.5 for Scheider takes the win, but the time is not good. Niklas Gronholm, Timizyanov, Yanis Baumanis, Doran, who I have to say, I thought looked great in turn 1, and then just a little nudge. Things change here so quickly. The best of them is in P6, look. Actually, so it's not a bad time. Scheider will end up 11th at worst. We're comparing them, aren't we, to the guys at the top. Take a look at this, actually. So, look at Muller, 3:25.5. Yeah, OK, Scheider's only a couple of seconds off, and the problem is we've got a couple of aliens at the top of the list already. Hansen and Loeb are flying.
Absolutely, and you've got to remember there was no real factory cars in that race either. So, you know, here we go, Baumanis on board. There was, watch this, pushing and shoving. I thought there was a bit of airborne activity in that one. Gets back out here, Liam here at this point, but Baumanis in the side, push him on the gravel. There's no way Liam can get through there. He's faced with a tyre wall.
Watch Liam on the exit. Does Liam get into the back of Scheider? Because he almost launches Scheider out of this corner. No, he doesn't. It's contact from Baumanis on the inside. So there, as he came back over the dirt, the car went really sideways.
Well, he lifted to get back out onto the track out behind Baumanis, lost all that energy, and Timizyanov got out, drag him down to the next corner.
Thank you. Baumanis on the exit. This is him, look, working hard on all these cars. Gronholm around his outside. Gronholm had mugged him at the merge. And this was the other shot of it. So you can see Baumanis desperate, trying to hold on to the inside line, but with not enough forward momentum to get into turn 1.
And you use that word desperate. There's a lot of desperation. You can see it in the driving because they don't want a problem. They're desperate to make the semis.
One more race to go.
Timo, nice to get an early race win here in Q3, but the time seems a little bit back off the Peugeots.
Yeah, that's true actually. So we're missing a bit of time from the very first moment already this weekend. But at least it's a heat win, so we take the points. This is important for us after the bad Q1. So yes, still some work to do, I would say.
We'll see you in Q4.
Yes, for sure.
Well, Andreas Backerud and Matthias Ekstrom are in this next race together. So let's take a look at their season so far. And this is right up to last night after Q2. You can see their up and down season for both of them. Some fantastic results. They've been in the mix everywhere. 12 times they've met on track. 55% of the time it's actually gone Andreas Backerud's way. Ekstrom maybe with a few mistakes this year earlier on in the season. 14 qualifying race wins to 11 though, so Ekstrom taking more wins in the qualifying part of the weekend. 2 semi-final wins each. No finals so far. Here we go then, the final race of Q3 on the line and ready to go. On the inside, Christopherson, he won both sessions yesterday. Next to him, Matthias Ekstrom. Then it's Solberg and Backerud side by side. And on the outside, Topi Heikkinen. All these guys look feeling pretty confident. The lowest of them is Topi in 7th, so they are saving new boots for later in the weekend. This place is very abrasive. Can't wait for this. Topi's the man who doesn't have to give too much worry, does he, into turn 1? I can do what I like, no problem.
No teammate in the race.
Oh, mate, Solberg versus Backerud. You know, we've got Christopherson
it's only Q3, it's going to be great.
Oh, here we go, here we go. Revs up, ready to race on, it's going to go out. Final race of Q3. Oh, super even start across the entire grid. 5 cars on the line down towards turn 1. Solberg's got the inside. Heikkinen goes wide, he's going to try for the outside move. He's not, though. Backerud slots up round. Going to
Heikkinen did the right thing there, stayed out of trouble. I didn't want to call it before, but yeah, I think that was a sensible thing to do from P5 with these guys, but it was so even off the start. It was just a line.
Good to see the MJP car keeping pace with the factory cars down too.
A good nudge in the back there from Peter Solberg up Backerud's backside.
Solberg goes Joker. Solberg goes Joker, so he's confident then that he can make up the time. He'll be hoping Haken.
A lot of damage to his front bumper. Remember, the radiator's in the front of these VWs, so the cooling package there, a little bit of damage. Hopefully it doesn't cost him any time because you don't want the ignition to retard.
Look at Haken's car, how much it moves around, how soft it is compared to the factory cars, guys. It's like a completely different setup.
Yeah, remember they don't do anywhere near as much testing, but still, you know, very good team and a lot of resources and funding in that team, but definitely not a factory team.
So Backward's dropped back 1.3 off his teammate Ekstrom already, so we didn't see where that happened, but no, well, of course, we saw the contact with Solberg, but that would probably be enough, wouldn't it?
He would probably have to get on the brakes and stay on the brakes to make sure he covered the apex and that Petr couldn't do anything up the inside.
So Backward lost a bit of time on that first lap, and he's lost a little bit more. He's now 1.5 off his teammate. Will Backward go Joker? He does. So the Backward now, Audi on it this weekend with the Joker.
Yes, this is what happened in Loriak, and he's trying to cover that VW move off straight away. The right thing to do.
Solberg round the outside, Backward round the inside. Two Norwegians with a little bit of form here. Solberg's going to try and shut the door. Backward's going to try and push him wide side by side of a start finish line. Backward puts him on the grass. Solberg went like that. Going to try and go around. Look at the nose of Solberg's car completely closed up. Is he going to give Backward a nudge? He does, and Backward forceful to hold the position.
Yeah, great driving, absolutely within his rights to do what he did. Now let's see how Petr comes back at him here. Obviously, won't want to hit him too hard. No. He's hit a VW up here.
Hit an Audi. It didn't work out.
Audi, yes. Didn't quite work out.
Lost the championship there with contact with Matthias Ekstrom. Solberg, to be fair, is a very clean racer as a general rule. Backward and him, and I think that was clean too. It was hard, but it was clean.
Yeah, that's rallycross.
Good
we want to see that.
That's what I want to see every time. Into the Joker goes Hakkinen. Hakkinen trying to cover off Backward Solberg. He could do because these guys have been fighting for the lap, so watching for Toppy. Can he cover off either of these two guys around the outside? The MJP Racing Machine now on the throttle. Oh, they both got him. Oh.
It's a pity, but he's going to race the clock now. Let's have a look at the lap times. You know, these guys aren't quite circulating as fast as the fastest lap we've seen so far from Sebastian Loeb.
So we could be looking at Hansen winning this session. He's the current leader from Loeb. There's only a tenth of a second between those two. Sorry, 2/10 of a second between them. Kristoffersen over the jump. It's a big jump from him. Ekstrom 2. These guys right up at the top of the standings. They're P1 and P2 overnight. They both waited to go until the last lap.
They're the only two that have had a clean run in this race, really, aren't they?
Tidy drive from both of them too. Here we go then. Watch the clock bottom right. This is what it's all about. Can Kristoffersen take his third session of the weekend? He's got plenty of time to get to that line. Going to straighten the polo out on the gas, chasing the clock. Not enough. It's not enough. Hansen wins Q3. So Timmy Hansen wins Q3. Loeb 2 has gone quicker than the Volkswagen. Kristoffersen does not win the third session of the day. In theory, the track's cleaner. Solberg's just passed the commentary position. All the bits of the bumper are falling off the car. So a bit of war in that one. Great race, but Kristoffersen had clear track, and the Peugeots have beaten him. 322.7 for Johan, Matthias in behind him, then Backward and Solberg who had that fantastic fight, 2/10 between them, and there you go. 1-2 for Peugeot, 7/10 of a second quicker. I think that's significant. We could be in for a great day 2 in Latvia. Good job by Muller and Kevin Hansen there, Guy, further up the standings.
I'm so pleased for Peugeot because they
yesterday.
had a torrid day yesterday.
Shocker.
And they looked like they had a fast car. Didn't quite work out for them, and bang, they've come back.
Shishrich, Scheider, Muller, all the guys who, yes, they were on the cast ball, slightly further out, fighting their way back in.
They were dealt a bit of a dirty stick yesterday, and, you know, I had a chat with both Liam and Gillen yesterday. I said, just go at it again, see what you can do. And
this was Backward that tried to come around the outside, little clout from Ekstrom. Oh, look at Ekstrom, how long it took him to recover.
Yeah, let's watch in here. Obviously, quite a lot of bumping and rubbing, but nothing too hard that really cost anybody a lot of time. But obviously, Toppy trying to snipe and pick up anything. But Petr there was on the outside. He gave him a bit of a nudge. Here we're going to see Petr up the back, just on the brakes, in.
Was any nudge, isn't it?
No, it wasn't very hard, really. It was a lot more damage caused for whatever reason than actually the impact was in terms of hardness.
This was Backward covering off Solberg. Watch the exit here, the damage on Solberg's car from earlier. And look at this, Backward's like, no, you're going off.
He had to do it.
Grass.
Yeah.
And he knows Solberg would have tried all the way around the outside in turn 1, which was given the inside for turn 2. Can't get it done. Hakkinen here.
He was unlucky.
He could have fired the car wide, but if he'd done that, they'd just have undercut him on the exit, wouldn't they?
Well, I think he was a little bit slow into there, whether he was scared of didn't want any damage because obviously he still had another. Was that the last lap?
That was it, yeah. Hansen takes the session.
Now, that looked like classic Q3 Johan. Lead from the start and put in a very quick race. Are you surprised that you aren't quickest in Q3?
I'm surprised that I had a good time as I had. I almost on the same pace as yesterday, still with the same tires. So car felt good. Track conditions are very nice and fair for every heat, which is nice. I mean, for the Peugeot as a comeback. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward for Q4 first of all, and then yeah, eyes are already on semi-final and final.
Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
Here are the standings after Q3. Johan Kristoffersen still at the top of the table. Look at the points on the right-hand side. He's unlikely to be beaten to the TQ, in my opinion. But Matthias Ekström, Sebastian Loeb, Timmy Hansen, Peter Solberg, Backerud, all fairly close on the points. Gronholm Schiescher up in P8. That's a nice job by him. Okay, at the minute then, Haikkonen's in, he's well in. Nico Muller's managed to get himself back inside the top 12. Then he got Scheider and Timosjanov. But look, just outside, Baumanis, Hansen, Dora and Kevin Eriksson, all to play for with one session to go. Well, as always, we've got some fantastic slow-motion pictures for you. Guy Wilkes is going to analyse some of this for us because he's driven around this track, and that guy is Janis Baumanis making the long left hairpin transition to a long right, and this is a sequence of corners.
It is indeed, Andrew, and obviously you're going from tarmac to gravel. The gravel isn't true gravel here in Riga, but at the same time, this corner is critical. It's a very long corner. It seems to be endless, but what it leads to, as we can see here, a little bit of scrub angle there, a bit of understeer, transitioning into oversteer, but you don't lose energy out of the car. You have a very quick left leading to the jump. You want to stay hard on the power. Here we have Timmy Hansen in the Peugeot. Bit probably stiffer in the chassis as we watch this car come and traverse around this corner here, so watch a little bit of deflection in the sidewall of the tyre.
He's got such a circuit style of driving, hasn't he, Tim? You know, he would like a circuit like this, which is high grip.
And as you can see, the car does not move a great deal in transitioning out of that long right into the left. Stays quite flat, the chassis.
So here we've got one of the OMSC cars. It's Larsen. So Larsen through the right and the left, followed by Kristoffersen. Look how close they get to the barriers, Guy, and that's crucial for lap time here.
Absolutely, you're lined by barriers in a lot of places in this track, so you have to get very close, and it's very regular to see rub marks on the wings.
Sebastian Loeb here coming up to the jump, and we can see there just a little squash. Why not take it flat?
You're going to land very heavily, as you can see there. It's not crossed up completely, but look now, it's a great picture this, as you see. It doesn't always happen that the cars get out of alignment coming into here, but he's approaching a very tight hairpin left. You don't over jump, so you run out of braking distance into this hairpin left because it's very loose on the outside. There is one line around this corner, as we can see him driving the car very neutrally, rolling it almost around the corner, and he wants to make sure he comes out of there as straight as possible, and now you will see the back dip down and on the gas and out.
Solberg then over the same jump. Speaking to Kristoffersen earlier on this weekend, he was saying how, as well, you damage the car if you jump too fast, so just a little squash, but he was saying around 125 kilometres an hour.
The car flies slightly better if you squash it well as well. It flies nose up. If you just jump it flat, it will dive the car eventually.
Likewise, if you're still on the brake when you go over that crest, then you're definitely going to go nose in, aren't you, into the road very hard indeed. Solberg through the left-hander, much more sideways than Sebastian Loeb much earlier, and that's pretty much what we expect from Solberg, and it's kind of what we like, isn't it? Nothing wrong with a bit of sideways. Just the one qualifying session left to go in Latvia, and some people fighting for their places in the semi-finals. It's all pretty obvious up at the top end. Kristoffersen, Ekström, Loeb, Hansen, Solberg, Backerud, Gronholm, Schiescher doing a good job down in 8th. But when you get down to 9th through to 16th, look at this. Haikkonen, Muller, Scheider, Timosjanov are just in. Baumanis, Kevin Hansen, Doran and Eriksson are just out, all to play for. First race of Q4, and Alex Wirtz unfortunately left behind at the start. Liam Doran managing to get a whole shot that he desperately needed. If the British bomb was to make it through to the semi-finals, he needed to throw down an absolutely stellar time and hope that those that were yet to race wouldn't do better. Alex Wirtz making a good pass onto Moustier up at turn 3. Liam Doran a little untidy at times on this run, but he took the win. On to Q4, race 2. Petter Solberg in this one. So not such a good run for him last time out. Bakkerud's in here too, look. So Bakkerud and Solberg side by side. Of course, it was them who were side by side twice in the previous race, maybe costing each other time. Heikkinen, who's 9th, looks, are hoping to make the semi-finals in the MJP machine. Looks confident because he hasn't put new boots on. They might have used them all already. So Timosyanov and Yanis Baumanis. Baumanis has gone for a couple of tyres. Look, he's in 13th. It'd be great to see a Latvian in the semis at home. 12th for Timmer. There's a few people on the cusp. Marshall's about to leave the grid. We're going to launch 5 very quick cars down to the first corner. So there's some really talented guys in this. It's been a roller coaster weekend for results. We keep saying it, but it's unusual. You normally get form. Maybe someone gets a puncture or a broken car, but it's like, do well, do badly. What are they going to do this time? Bakkerud versus Solberg on the inside. Can't count out any of the others either. Oh, very, very even start across the 5 cars. Looks like Timosyanov got the jump, but there's cars on his inside. He's not going to be far enough forward. Baumanis goes sensible around the outside. Baumanis might get the whole shot here. He's going to try and go around the outside of Bakkerud, keeping on the road. Yanis is up the inside of Solberg. Crowd are going mad. You can hear them up at the grandstand. On board with Baumanis now. He passes hundreds of Latvian fans up at the grandstand. Dirt up from Solberg, and he's in P3, but it's Bakkerud who leads.
Very sensible from Yanis Baumanis there. You know, usually he's one that likes to get a bit of rough and tumble, but he stayed well clear of it. Being P5, he was going to ask a lot to go all the way around the outside of the 2 guys who are at the front.
13th, he's got to get him. We need him in the semis. I want to see him in the semis. I want to hear the crowd.
Big battle here, not between the 2 at the front, but also the 2, Timosyanov and Yanis Baumanis.
Heikkinen's out, sorry, guy in the background. Heikkinen's pulled over on the gravel section, so Heikkinen's dropped out. There he is, the 57, familiar number. If you're a World RX fan, pulls over the side there. It's a shame for Toppy, and Toppy, of course, was in 9th. So Toppy Heikkinen has had a shocker here, and that's helping the others. So Bakkerud versus Solberg, and actually that joker by Baumanis could work out really well here because there's only quick guys in front of him now, Guy.
Absolutely, he's dropped himself out, and obviously look at the gap back to Timosyanov, but these 2 in the front are having a ding-dong. Penner looks like he's got the pace because he's all over the back of Andreas Bakkerud here.
It's always nice at a chase though, isn't it, mate? You know?
Well, it is, but at the same time, when I say he's all over the back, you know, he might be a 10th, 2 tenths faster. You can't make a car length, you can't make a pass with that, but at the same time, it's highly frustrating. So Petter's probably looking, is there a gap that he can joker and get back out in front of Baumanis? But Timosyanov, he's around the cusp as well.
So we'll have a look at the lap time, see if Baumanis is going quicker or slower than these guys at the moment. I suspect he won't quite be on their pace. Solberg is absolutely all over the back of Andreas Bakkerud. Literally, look, that is, we're having tiny bits of contact, but this is lovely, clean racing between 2 Norwegian rallycross legends here.
Rubbing is racing, as they say. And now there's a chance now,
Solberg.
This is it.
Oh, Solberg's got him, surely Solberg's got him, definitely. So tidily done by Solberg. Bakkerud ran wide in the same race Muller ran wide yesterday. Solberg got it inside, fair square.
He was there waiting, he'd done his job, wasn't he? He was looking for an opportunity, and the door opened and through he went.
Wow, so it was the tiniest opportunity, but I think that goes to show, Guy, how much extra capacity there maybe is in the Polo, particularly on this run, looking at...
Well, let's just see what Andreas Bakkerud can do here. Yes, Penner got away from him initially, but let's see if he can hold the gap now.
OK, so we'll see if there's a performance difference between them. Baumanis continues to circulate, having Joker in the background. He's 5.2 back, so Baumanis should get Timosyanov. He's unlikely to get Solberg and Bakkerud. Timmer, though, look, he's right on the back of this train as well.
Yeah, and these 2 guys tussled before, Petter and Andreas, and cost each other time, and they're doing it again. They're doing 49, low 49s, but before, remember, Sebastian Loeb in Q3 did a 48.1.
And why are they in this race? Because of exactly the same thing.
Yes, because of fighting between each other.
And that's what Liam was saying earlier on today. You know, I've had too many fights, Q1, 2, Q2. I can't do it. They're too good at the front. You need clean laps.
And of course, it sounds silly when we're racing to say we don't want to fight. Yeah, but first must make sure you get to the semi-finals.
And it's a Guy. It's such a fine. Look at Solberg. You had to pass Bakkerud. He's clearly quicker. So you've got to get past him. You lose even more time. It's such a fine line. But here we go. Solberg around the left-hander. The time of Liam Doran was a 3:26.6. Solberg's going to beat that as he crosses the line. He does a 3:24.8. So backward comes in P2 Timizyanov and Baumanis. Baumanis with a 3:29. What was Liam's time? 3:26.6. So Liam's time actually good enough for second in the session. And bear in mind that Heikkinen has gone out from P9. Baumanis was in P13.
It's a chance.
There is a chance. There is a chance. Solberg takes it from backward. Timizyanov, Baumanis, Toppy. Heikkinen with a DNF. Can he cling on with that one DNF, or is he going to see him plummet out of the all-important top 12? On board with Baumanis off the start here, Guy. This was a great move by him.
Yeah, watch how early he lifts out of it and lets everybody go in front of him. Goes across the back to the left. Look at that. How often do you see that? And then back across the right, round the outside. The others were tangled.
He was unlucky, wasn't he, not to get Solberg there, because backward just edged him one wheel onto the gravel and he lost that forward momentum again.
That bit of traction that he needed to slingshot out.
Here's another angle for it. Look at him in the background. Contact between Heikkinen and Timizyanov. That's probably what did for Heikkinen. Baumanis here, look, he's alongside Solberg, but one wheel on the gravel. And Solberg's just got enough. Okay, Solberg shut the door pretty firmly, but fair enough.
Slammed.
Yeah, slammed. Bang. Have some of that. So this is where Toppy pulled over. I say that was very, very early in the race. Shame to see the 57 at the side of the road. Solberg versus backward, tiny, and in fact it was exit, wasn't it? It was on exit.
It was, but Andrea just got slightly too wide, as we see on the approach here. Watch, doesn't quite make the apex. Petter does, and he's bang through.
Patient on the throttle.
If I liken it to boxing, you know, they're trying to go for knockout punches now. You must wait to the semis and the final to do that. You've got to grind your opponents down first.
Petter, that looked like it was hard work, but a great overtake there on Andreas.
It was a clean, nice one, but he went far too slow before that. The drive is so difficult on the start line, you know, when you're so equal, and was so close to him all the time, and then he moved out and went on the inside, but the time is not very good. That is the problem, yeah.
Still good, spectacular racing, though.
Yeah, it's close fight and it's nice, you know. But yeah, we want to, of course, we want to win, you know. But it's so many things and variables that comes into it, you know. So we did our best, and that's the main thing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Kevin Hansen adjusts his glasses underneath his familiar crash helmet in the yellow Peril, the 208. The loudest coloured of the three cars in the Peugeot squad. Had to give second to his brother, second best to his brother off the start last time out. He will not be doing anyone any favours this time. Schiesschritt next to him, Scheider, Kevin Eriksson and Niklas Gronholm. So take a look at this. Gronholm in 7th has gone for tyres. Interesting. Kevin Eriksson 16th, I think, is fair to say probably not going to make it. Scheider 11th, Schiesschritt 8th, Kevin Hansen 14th. But remember, we've seen a good time from Doran, who's trying to fight his way in from one place behind Kevin, and we've seen Heikkinen out from P9, all to play for. 5 into 1 won't go. Down at turn 1. We're going to send them down there anyway. Let's do this. Race 3. Kevin Hansen started twice yesterday on the outside. Did not like that. Last race out, he was in P2, and he definitely lifted to let Timmy get the whole shot. What can he do here in Q4? Oh, it's a mega start from Schiesschritt. Borderline jump start, 0.3, but 0.2 for him. Kevin Hansen, though, still beats him down in the background, trying to do a sensible one. Kevin Eriksson's going to get around the outside of Schiesschritt, but not quite. And it is Kevin Hansen who gets the whole shot, followed by Schiesschritt.
Niklas Gronholm's going to be desperate to get past Kevin Eriksson here, because he's been faster over the course of the weekend, and here he's having a go. Eriksson walks him off on the inside, but now back to the front. Kevin Hansen is desperate. He's P14, so he actually has a 5-point deficit to make up to get into the semis.
Look at the concentration on his face, Guy, over the jump. And we talk about not blinking when you drive. They do blink, but they'll choose when to do it subconsciously.
Yeah, you never think about blinking, but you very rarely do. When I saw a vision of my face, it's eyes wide open most of the time, if not all the time.
It's mad, isn't it, when you think you can go. We've seen people go a minute without, and you blink every few seconds, but they'll do it because the focus is just intense, and there aren't that many places around this track to get a bit of a rest. Up into turn 1. So Schiesschritt is actually all over the back of Kevin. So he's doing a good job here. He's being chased down by Eriksson. So Eriksson in P16 would be a long shot, but then, you know, so's Liam in P15 and Kevin in P14.
Actually, it's not the fastest of opening laps, which is doing Liam Doran a favour, who's obviously been 2 races before. But now they've got clear air. It takes a bit of sorting out those first 2 corners. When there's a bit of bumping and bashing, it hemorrhages time instantly.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on Kevin Hansen's lap times for you as he heads around onto the third lap coming up next. Is anyone going to joker? No, they're not, because at the minute, Guy, it does. So Ericsson goes joker. Is that maybe to cover Gronholm behind him? I think it is. So watch for Gronholm versus Kevin Ericsson, the merge here. Gronholm in the Hyundai on the inside. That will now switch to the outside. He doesn't quite get to the apex using those curves. I think it's going to cost him a bit, but I think he's going to get Kevin. He does. So Gronholm manages Kevin. Great tactics.
Well, he had to get by him. I told you that he has a faster car, faster package this weekend, and so job done. But again, back to the front, because they're not going to trouble the two at the front. Kevin Hansen just done a 48.9, so that is a good time, good lap time.
Shisha is doing okay behind him. Look at the 49.8. So okay, so second back, but he looks to be more comfortable in the car almost than Liam. Maybe not overdriving it, but
well, if they've got a problem with the car and how it's handled underneath them, that is the critical thing to do. Don't ask too much of it and try not to make any mistakes.
So just
we saw Liam
offline,
exactly work to its capabilities. Make sure you don't lose time.
Oh, I bet I've got to be honest, I quite want to see Liam through to the semis along with Jan.
It's a massive thing to fight in your head as a driver, though.
Okay, Gronholm then trying to get Shisha as well. He's going to go for the cutback on the exit. They'll tell Shisha to stay tight, but it's not tight enough. Niklas with a great move. Niklas Gronholm is absolutely killing it here. Brilliant tactics to work his way up through the field. Big push from the Finn, who's currently in P7. Absolutely stunning.
I had a chat with his team manager before this race, with Niklas Gronholm, and he said they were pretty maxed out in terms of setup. You know, a lot of the guys have been here testing, you know, a lot of mileage. You know, the manufacturers, the Audis, the VWs, the Peugeots, they hadn't, but still they've got a bit of limitation in the car at the moment, and they just want it to be a bit tighter.
Doing very well here, though. Managed to edge past two people with the joke lap tactics. Kevin Hansen has missed the apex, has to wait on the throttle. Kevin, who is down in P14, would love to make it through. As I say, it is a real lottery for me for the lower semi-final places here. Kevin's about to stake his claim to one of them as he chases that time over the line. It's not quick enough to take the session, but it puts him up in P2. So at the minute, it's Solberg from Kevin Hansen and then Liam Doran. So two of the guys who were miles out are about to pick up as a minimum a P7, a P8, P9, because there's 5 cars still to come. So basically, you're going to find out when we see the standings at the end of this session. Kevin Hansen takes it from Gronholm with brilliant tactics to pass Shisha and Ericsson. Timo Scheider at the back of that pack. Here's where they slot in. Look, Kevin Hansen into second, Gronholm, Shisha at 5th and 6th. But Hansen and Doran, those guys, I say, are in 15th and 14th prior to this session. Can they scrape a spot in the semis? This was Kevin on board. Say, Shisha got an absolute blind of 0.2, which normally means nearly a jump start.
Very nearly, but you know, Kevin Hansen just had the line in there. He was firm, braked a little bit later than Galan Chesri, and got out in front and did what he needed to do. But behind, a lot of jostling. This cost Niklas Gronholm, but like I said, you can see his car, I like to call it baggy. It's soft, it's a little bit too loose, it's not taut like the Peugeots. It doesn't change direction as well as the Peugeots or as quick, and he loses ground here. You can see the car drifting wide, and he's trying to keep it as straight as possible and get that energy going forwards.
This is a tidy move when he was there, and they could tell they told Shisha to stay tight, but he didn't keep the door shut. And despite that mistake in the joker lap there, Kevin Hansen is right up there in P2 so far.
Kevin, the engine's smoking. It looks like you and the car did everything you possibly could, but do you think it's going to be enough?
Not for fastest for sure, but I really hope this brings me to the semi-finals. We had a really difficult day yesterday, so to have a good day today, and I was feeling really that much happier with the car today, so thanks to the team for bringing me back to my confidence. So I was trying really hard on that run, I think you can see, so no, I did everything I can, and hopefully yesterday I don't screw up today. Good luck, thank you. Thank you.
Let's have a look at the grid then. Q4, race 4. Timmy Hansen. He won the last session. Can he win this one? He only won it by 2/10 from his teammate Sebastian Loeb. And it's Johan Kristoffersen, Matthias Ekström, and Nico Muller in this. Where's Muller at the moment? Muller's in 10th, you can see. 2nd, 1st, 3rd, 4th. So the 4 guys on the right are pretty much safely through. Muller with a pair of new boots on the front will be wanting to hold on to that position in the semis. Last race of the qualifying stages of round 9 of the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship. Look at that grandstand in the background. It's packed here in Latvia. Capacity crowd watching some brilliant action. That grandstand gives you a grandstand seat of turn 1. We're right up above it in the commentary box. You're about to see it now. They're going to keep it sensible, or will it be carnage? Oh, green line really quick. Ekstrom got left at the line. Ekstrom absolutely left standing at the line. Christophersen's going to get the whole shot around the outside. Hansen, Muller though looking up the inside. Hansen drops back low, contacting his teammate up the back. It's Muller up into P2. Christophersen leading. Ideal for Christophersen. He wasn't going to lose the TQ anyway. But behind him, what happened to Ekstrom?
Bugged or stalled, but he was left out the back. Great job by Nico Muller there. He's gone around the outside yesterday and he did it again. He was nice and clean, but as level-headed as you can get for a professional world rallycross driver, we have 5 of them in this race.
I'm willing to bet that the Peugeots will go Joker straight away because we know they've edged Muller on pace. I don't think Muller will go now. He's going to follow Christophersen, so I'm expecting to see the Peugeots go Joker, and you can see immediately Hansen takes that line. Ekstrom now onto the back of Loeb. Timmy Hansen, that's a fantastic move by him, and that gives him his best shot of catching up to the guys in front.
It's a clever move by Peugeot. Split strategy, so you know Loeb has a few car lengths to make up on Nico Muller on this next lap. Obviously he's about a full second behind, but he's closing it down dramatically now in this corner as we look.
I was a little bit surprised that Ekstrom didn't go Joker too. I mean, he's on the back of the train already. In some ways, when you've missed the start, you might as well Joker 1 and just try and catch up during the rest of the race. Give yourself plenty of clean air.
But he's maybe giving himself a target, just as Sebastian Loeb, he knows, was the quickest in the last quali.
Yeah.
If he can try and get on the back of him, chase the Joker.
Chase. Through the gravel section, Ekstrom is hard on the gas. You can see the car sideways. Watch for Hansen in the background. He's on a big push too. We're going to keep an eye on Timmy Hansen's lap times and see what he can do. Remember, he jokered on the first one. Muller goes Joker. That's released Loeb. That's absolutely ideal for Loeb. I reckon Muller's gone Joker. EKS are doing exactly what they've done for the remainder of the weekend so far, which is responding to those who Joker. Timmy is absolutely inch perfect on the curve, but Muller's going to be on the inside here. Hansen's going to try and go outside, goes inside. He got him anyway. Yes, Timmy Hansen. Brilliant. Muller defending like she's did, but not enough.
Yeah, Timmy Hansen was very canny then. He just waited and waited, and then as soon as the car was straight, Nico Muller left that little bit of gap, bang, on the accelerator hard.
Brilliant. So Hansen then up into 4th place. Muller and him have both jokered. I don't think he's going to catch up to Christophersen. Will it have been sensible what Loeb's done to stay out there? Christophersen's going to take this, and with it he's going to take the top qualifier spot. No one could really challenge him anyway with the weekend he's had so far. Through the left. And Loeb, will he go now to cover the people behind? He doesn't, so Loeb's going to stay out. Ekstrom stays out too.
Nothing really to cover at the moment.
What's the gap? 1.4 down to 4.5. It's about 3.3. In theory, Hansen should manage to get 2nd place here, Guy.
Yeah, potentially, yes. When I say he has nothing to cover, yes, the only person he was covering was his teammate, but at the same time, they don't want to get tangled in that last corner and lose time.
So Christophersen looking on for another top qualifier spot. This guy is just absolutely brilliant at what he does. The devil is in the detail. We sat and did a long interview with him on the grid, which you'll be able to see sometime later this year on Friday. And he just, the detail he goes into is crazy. He remembers everything. Timmy Hansen, I think, could have challenged a bit more this year if it wasn't for a bit of bad luck. It's good to see some form from him and the Peugeot late in the season. But so far this year, it is mostly about Christophersen.
And Matthias Ekstrom struggling for pace here. You know, Christophersen and Loeb are down below 48.5 seconds, but 49 for Ekstrom.
Well, Timmy's been on a big push on the inside. Ekstrom runs a little bit wide in the Joker lap now. You're watching for Timmy Hansen on the inside line with Nico Muller. Where's he going to come in? Is Sebastian Loeb, I think, might get Timmy here. So Loeb's going to come around the left-hander. Timmy's going to try and come in underneath it, but it's not going to be close enough. Christophersen takes it from Loeb and Timmy Hansen. And that is qualifying done here. 2.3 seconds faster for Christophersen than his teammate Solberg. And how many of those cars have gone quicker than the guys that were before them? Well, you're going to find out any moment now. Christophersen takes it 3:22.4. It's not as fast as he went yesterday. It's not as fast as Timmy's fastest time of the weekend earlier on today, but it's still very quick indeed. Good enough to win the session by a comfortable margin from Loeb, Timmy Hansen, Muller and Ekstrom. There's where they slot in. So, okay. Kevin Hansen gets 5th, Liam Doran gets 8th. Remember, those guys were on the cusp of whether they made it or not. Christophersen wins Q4. With that, he will absolutely be the top qualifier here in Latvia. Loeb, Hansen, Solberg, Kevin Hansen, Muller, Ekstrom, Doran are your top 8 in Q4. But you'll get the standings to see who's made it or not in just a moment. Inside then, look at I wonder if Ekstrom almost got caught by the lights. I mean, I doubt it. It was very quick to green, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're just guessing really, but at the same point, Nico Muller did a great job there, but just hadn't got the pace in him or the car. You know, he was a full second almost slower per lap.
He likes the outside line into turn 1 and has proved that it can be done done sensibly. Got Timmy there yesterday. Timmy was wise there. Nice tactics from Persia here. Look at this. Lovely move. Muller back off the throttle, but still Timmy's there.
So clean. Yeah. It was lovely. If he'd have clipped the back of the car, it would have helped the energy going to Nico Mullers and pushed him away from him.
Yeah, no, great stuff. Really, really good, clean racing. Johan Kristoffersson, though, we know he's been on unstoppable form most of the year, and he takes another top qualifier spot here in Latvia.
Johan, that was another nice clutch of championship points for being top qualifier again. And from the outside, that looked like a perfect race for you. Was that what it was like in the car?
Yeah, I think considering the tires we had, it was first of all a very good launch. Was struggling with the launches in Loyak, and I'm trying to catch back those points now. And yeah, I'm feeling comfortable in the car. We have a good tire strategy for the weekend, and yeah, launches are looking good. We tried some few things now for this heat. Some pluses, some minus, and now we'll just take away the minus and add a few more pluses for semi-final and final.
See you in the semi.
Thank you.
Here we go then, qualifying done in Latvia. Johan Kristoffersson confirmed as the top qualifier. Sebastian Loeb in P2, so Persia on the front row. Matthias Ekström will be on pole in the second semi with Timmy Hansen alongside him. Solberg backward, Niklas Gronholm, Nico Muller through in 8th place. Good performance by him, but the second page is where it's at. And Kevin Hansen and Liam Doran have made it. So they've scraped their way through in the final session along with Shisharit and Timosyanov. Scheider, look at that, equal points between him and Doran, so we'll look on countback. And Baumanis, the Latvian, missing out at home by just one qualifying point on the right-hand side. A lot of that, of course, due to the fact that Heikkinen retired in Q4. There we go. We have our top 12 for this afternoon's semi-finals. For Supercar this year, beautiful weather. A few clouds about, but I don't think we're going to see any rain, and that is a good job because we've got a capacity crowd. The championship all around the world, but good to see obviously so many of them here. No Latvians through to the world semis, unfortunately. A few Swedes, though. Neil Coles with Timmy Hansen.
I mean, after Q2 yesterday, the car was a little bit broken. You were quite disappointed. Did you then imagine you'd turn it around and be on the front row of semi-final 2?
Oh, this, of course, to get all the way up to the front row was, of course, the best scenario possible. I knew that after being P11 overnight, Q3 was really a key moment. We used 4 new tires then. But also my launch, my 4 laps, they were so good. Some of the best I've done this season. Put everything together, and it got me those 50 heat points that was so necessary. And that was the base to make this improvement or climb from P11 to P4. So I'm super proud of today's qualifying. But now we are in the front row where we want to be. So now we take the fight from here.
And of course, I mean, lots of people in the paddock would love to see a different winner of an event here in Latvia. Can it be you today?
I'll do everything I can promise you that. But we have the speed, and I have to put everything together. But if I make my perfect race, then absolutely we can win this afternoon.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Timmy thinks he needs a perfect race guy. We saw a brilliant performance from him earlier on today. He was absolutely fantastic in his Q3 run.
He absolutely nailed it, like he said, from start to finish. He put it all together. He needed to, but he's young still, but has a hell of a lot of experience.
He does indeed. From that race background through to Rallycross, there's a man who hasn't won a round of the World Rallycross Championship yet. He's won plenty of championships before, double European Rallycross champion in Supercar. Sebastian Loeb, look, Andreas Backerud, Timmy Hansen, Matthias Ekström. We've got all the big names through, as usual. A few people fighting their way back in today. Muller, the pink Audi. Muller did brilliantly here, didn't he, a couple of years ago? Love that shot. Look, everybody down there, tension building. I popped my head out into the spotters tower a minute ago. We've got a few of the EKS boys up here. Oliver Solberg's already up here. Kenneth Hansen's already up here, and basically just everyone getting ready to to go for it again for the semi-finals. Guy, I'm looking forward to this.
There isn't a seat that hasn't got a bum on it, although I'm sure they'll be standing very soon.
Who's going to win this one? Kristoffersen again? Can somebody stop him? The crowds are getting back into their grandstand seats because they are awaiting the crescendo of this fantastic event in the heart of Riga in Latvia. Wonderful track, Bikanieki, so close to the city centre. Even the kids look here, ear defenders on, waiting for the anti-lag to signal battle down into turn one. My name is Andrew Coley, alongside me is Guy Wilkes, reporting from the paddock and the spotter tower, and everywhere else will be Neil Cole. And we are, of course, ready for the final stages of round 9 of the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship. We've had 4 rounds of qualifying already, which has determined who gets championship points and who makes it through to the semi-finals. Here are those results. Top 16 getting points. You can see who missed out. Eriksson, Heikkinen, Baumanis missing out at home, a real shame, and Scheider. Doran and Kevin Hansen fighting their way into the back of the grid in the very last session. But up at the front, Johan Kristoffersen, 6 TQs in a row. That is a new record, and he's equalled his own season record of 6 TQs in a season. To do them in a row is outrageous. He hasn't not been on TQ, basically, since Silverstone, which feels like a very long time ago. Sebastian Loeb, P2, Ekstrom, Timmy Hansen, Solberg, Backerud, Gronholm and Muller are your top 8. So very much looking forward to this. Odds go to semi-final 1, evens to semi-final 2. So you've got Kristoffersen versus Ekstrom, Volkswagen versus Audi in semi-1, Loeb versus Hansen, 2 Peugeots on the front row in semi-final 2. Can't wait for this. Neil Cole, of course, has been down on the grid, hoovering up interviews for us, and he managed to catch up with Matthias Ekstrom earlier on today. Qualified 3rd, he's on the front row in semi-final 1.
Matthias, front row, semi-final 1. I guess the secret is to try and get through turn 1 ahead of Johan Kristoffersen.
Yeah, I mean, we are happy to come this far already. I mean, for sure, we tried to be second in the intermediate, but Sebastian did a good job in Q4. Now we're in the semi-final time, and for sure, Johan has 4 new tires. We have 4 new tires, so not much more to do than to just go flat out and hope for the best.
And of course, as a team, you've got all 3 cars in the semis. What would it mean as a team to get you, Andreas, and Nico into the final?
For sure, that would be great, but you know, first thing comes first. I think this will be 2 very exciting semi-finals. So first we have to go through this, and 3 would be great. But for the moment, we take it step by step.
I can see Johan Kristoffersen looking at your car.
So Johan, how do you like my tires?
They are just as fine as mine.
Yeah, but it looks like your rear left at least has a scratch on it.
I'm still going to drive my car now, not like this car.
Oh, sorry.
I'll let you get on with it. Thank you.
Here we go then, semi-final 1 is on the line already. Good to hear from Ekstrom and Kristoffersen. A bit of banter, but as we say, some tyre news for you. Both of those guys are on new boots. They've saved tyres for this part of the event where they're looking for that tiny bit of extra performance. Ekstrom, can he beat Kristoffersen down to turn 1 again? And this time will Audi get the strategy right and be able to win the semi-final and the final? Ekstrom and Kristoffersen. Kristoffersen with that TQ, 6 in a row, and there you go, brand new boots all round on both those cars. This is going to be fantastic. Row 2, Solberg and Niklas Gronholm. Great performance by Niklas to qualify in 7th. And row 3, Gerland Shisharit and Timmers Yarnov. Again, used tyres for them. Guy, quickly before we get these cars down into turn 1, what are you thinking about the tyre situation? Interesting, isn't it?
It is, but mechanics have done their job, engineers have done their job, now it's down the driver and the spotter. You know, it is game on.
Here we go, semi-final number 1. Remember, there's only 3 slots up for grabs in the final here at round 9 in Latvia. The marshals are leaving the grid, the cars are about to. They're going to leave the grid considerably faster. DJ here ramping up the crowd. We're ready to race. brilliant start by Kristoffersson on the front row. Can he get down to turn 1 ahead of Ekstrom? He's on the inside. Ekstrom's got it. No, Ekstrom could get into turn 2 first. Solberg's out. The gravel taps the wall. He's going to have to reverse. Solberg then has had another disaster in Latvia. That's Solberg not going to make it through unless he has an absolute miracle. Ekstrom versus Kristoffersson, though. It is Kristoffersson leading from Matthias. Matthias got good traction there. I thought he was going to manage to hold on, guys.
More importantly, Gillen Shishiry's found himself in 3rd place.
Brilliant stuff. Fantastic. So Shishiry's fought his way out from the back of the grid. Where's Timosyanov? Is Timosyanov in P4? I think he was. So both the guys on the back of the grid have made it through. And with Solberg very unlikely to make it from their guy. Where is he? Has gone. Yeah, well, Solberg's gone from the time in front
of us. Back of Grunholm's in P5. So, you know, yeah, he's just gone over the jump now in the background, and we've got Timosyanov going into the Joker early to cover off anything that Petter might be able to do. So
yeah, clever move too. And then he gives himself a bit of space for Shishiry, who was only 0.4 in front. So can Timosyanov make it through? Solberg, yeah, going off in the same place as he did last year. It's a real shame for him. So far, Latvia just hasn't worked out. Wow, Kristoffersson, brand new boots, making the most of them, but Ekstrom's going with him, guy.
Off the start line.
Mega, great stuff. Ekstrom wheels up over the curve on the right-hand side. Look, he's right up underneath Kristoffersson. Kristoffersson will know he's there. These guys, equal opportunity, equal tyres. I wonder who's going to Joker. Do you think they'll follow, or do you take a chance on it? Look at the gap they've got back already. They've already nearly got a window to Joker, guy, which would give you 4 laps to do something different.
These two are flying, you know. Gillen would naturally say, you know, his pace. Yeah, OK, he's gone into the Joker, but Gillen to be 3 seconds behind, and the rest of the field behind him.
Shishiry covering off Timosyanov, so watch for Timosyanov on the standard lap. I think Shishiry might hold on here. Shishiry's coming round the outside. No, sorry, Shishiry round the inside, Timosyanov round the outside, and Shishiry has held the position. So
he's got to get back on the inside. He's done it.
Yeah, lovely job
from his spotter in the tower.
Very nicely done. Responded immediately, covered it off. So Timosyanov now will have to pass Shishiry if he wants to go through. Gronholm, on the other hand, could try to gap these two. He needs, what does he need, 3.3?
Yeah, well, Shishiry is trying hard here, you know. Well, he needs probably 3.3 to be comfortable, but around about 3 to make it tight. And remember, you've got the inside line coming around the Joker, but you have to block off that outside one.
Tactics right here for Shishiry, but do you now get on the radio and say, calm it down? It's hard to pass him. He doesn't need to be putting 2 wheels on the grass.
Yeah, but we know Timosyanov, he does need no introduction, you know. He will fight any which way he can, and he'll be trying to distract Gillen Shishiry in his mirror.
So Shishiry, will he be driving on the mirrors? Nicely done up over the curve at the minute, defending potentially a final position here.
I think Timosyanov's rattling Gillen a little bit. Gillen a little bit too sideways out there and lost a good half a car length in acceleration, just going too lateral. And again, he's got to tidy it up if he wants to hold on to this position.
He's got maybe 1 car length now, but you would never say that was comfortable. Kristoffersson and Ekstrom out front, just 1.1 seconds between them. Gronholm on 6.3 back from them. So now Ekstrom or Kristoffersson could safely Joker and give themselves a bit of space and a lap or 2 to make it up. But for me, Kristoffersson's now got a safe air between him and Ekstrom.
Ekstrom's gone into the Joker, but we predicted it. You know, it was natural for it to happen. They've got free air. He should get out right in front of Grunholm easily.
So Ekstrom then at this point will be on row 2 in the final. It's going to depend on who is alongside Kristoffersson on row 1, because we've still got 2 laps to go. This is not over yet. Certainly not over for Grönholm. So look at this. There's nearly 3 seconds between. Let's have a look at the gap between Grönholm and Shishiry.
Yeah,
it's 3.2.
Shishiry's got to get his toe in. He's been scrappy with Timosyanov, distracting him behind him, dragging him offline.
Look how close it is at the bottom of your screen. You can see what our Joker predictor thinks it will be, just 65,000. So 600ths in it at the minute between Shishiry and Grönholm for the final place in the final.
Gillen Shishiry just needs to calm down and keep the car as straight as possible. You saw him getting tracked over a curb there, and it pulled the car out of line. He's just scrubbing speed off.
Ekstrom on the standard lap. Kristoffersson's waiting until the final lap. When's Grönholm going to go? Grönholm wants 1 more lap on the standard lap to see if he can get that gap to comfortable, guy.
And he's not under pressure, Niklas Grönholm. He's on his own, and that's probably the mistake that's going to do it for him. We've seen it.
So check that gap again when you get round. It's now up, look, over 4. So no, sorry, 3.2 still. It's 3.2 at this point. We're going to find out as they cross the line now what it's going to be. And it's gone up again. So now check the bottom of your screen. 3.8 is what it's saying, plus 6. So Grönholm has gone green, which means we think Grönholm will get it. Grönholm drops a wheel on the dirt. It's a big push.
But he got it back on, you see.
Oh, Shishiry, another mistake.
He's desperate, and he's just trying too hard in the wrong areas.
Great start for these guys. Good, and look at Solberg. Solberg's on the back of them, but it's too late for Solberg. Not too late, though, for Kristoffersson. Kristoffersson enters the Joker lap. This one then to take pole in the final on the standard lap. Ekstrom won't be close enough, but it's all about the fight for third. Oh, and there's a mistake up at the end. So Timosyanov goes round. Timosyanov goes round. Solberg goes to the Joker on the last lap. Not going to make any difference. Schischrig's going to come round, but it's about Gronholm versus Schischrig. Need to see the Joker lap merge. Ekstrom takes second. Where are they? Where are they? Schischrig's around the outside, but Gronholm's there already. Gronholm's there already, and Gronholm books a slot in the final. Schischrig drifts it over the line, but too much drifting in that one has cost him a place in the final by just a couple of seconds. So a few too many mistakes, and we saw everybody trying really hard there. But it is Kristoffersson, Ekstrom and Gronholm who go through.
Absolutely, but a lot of damage caused in that first corner, and off a staggered grid as well. You're not racing down there 5 abreast, remember, but they all arrived at the same time, didn't they? Some broke later, some broke earlier, and it just all compressed. The incident happened, Petter lost out.
Here's the result then of semi-final number 1. Kristoffersson takes it. Ekstrom was close at first, but it's fair to say Johan gapped him in the middle of the race. Gronholm with a brilliant race there. Schischrig Joker in early to hold on to his position. It looked like that would get the job done, but with pressure from Timosyanov and a couple of mistakes, Gronholm used the clear air to book a slot in the final. Really, really good drive by Niklas. Impressive stuff, I think, there.
It was. He tried and drove very hard. We saw Gillen Schischrig a bit ragged, but Niklas Gronholm drove cleaner and overtook him with strategy.
Solberg off the line here. What happens, guys? Head down towards turn 1. Of course, last year he had a much worse outcome with the collarbone.
Takes a little bit of a punt, I would say, from behind, then he just gets punted straight on and then again collected and span into the barrier. You're a passenger really there. Gillen probably into the back of him a little bit.
If you've got to go reverse, you know you've lost a lot of time. Here we go, another angle of it. Look, yeah, so maybe a little nudge from Gillen on the way down into the first corner.
But then from this point, Gillen had done the job, but then he had the pressure of Timosyanov right behind him, and things like this, he's just losing time. He thinks he's maybe getting a bit straighter, but he's losing traction on the gravel.
It's hard to pass here, isn't it? So in theory, he could have just kept it clean and tidy and straight and not lose the time. But Gronholm, of course, was in the lovely position of just being able to push in clean air.
He had clean air because of that melee in the first corner.
This was at the end of the... Okay, now there's one more lap to go. What happens to Timosyanov?
Timmer has a Gillen.
Oh, look at the gap that Solberg went through. He only just made it through there. So Kristoffersson came round to take the win. Behind him, Mattias Ekstrom, and of course Gronholm going through as well.
Johan, semi-final win, puts you on pole in the final, but you look anxious to get away.
Yeah, it's a long travel to distance in the pit lane, so we have to go quickly, but yeah, just a short brief. It was tough with Ekstrom in the first corner. I had to stretch the braking point every meter, and he had a great launch, but from there on the car was great. He put some pressure on the first 3 laps, but then I saw it start to smoke, and yeah, we could back off both of us in the end. Thank you.
Well, Johan didn't have a passenger during the race, don't worry, it's not that impressive with an 85-kilo passenger or whatever going around now. So the engineer has jumped in for the run back to the paddock. It's a fair old run back here. Turnaround time is pretty short, even for the guys in Semi-1. But Semi-2 is coming up next, and those guys have got even less time to get ready for the final. So stay with us, another semi-final to come. Crowd chilling in between the action, chilling in the sunshine. Very different to last year, where it was umbrellas and tarpaulins and anything waterproof you could find not to get completely soaking wet. We had heavy rain last night, but glad to say it's stayed away for the Latvian organisers. Right, we're going to take another look back at Solberg's incident from the first semi-final. Guy Wilkes is going to hopefully talk us through exactly what we think happened. So on board with Solberg.
Yeah, we're not going to see the impact, but we're going to feel it probably. You'll see the car lurch forwards just about now there. Just takes an impact in the back, and obviously he's grabbed the handbrake, trying to turn it, but it's just clipped the tyres and span him round, and just where you don't want to be facing into a wall.
Yeah, so he went reverse, looking at the donut to get out, and by now he knows that very, very frustrating for him. Look, racing instant, yeah, okay, Schischrig shouldn't have run into the back of him, maybe on the brakes, but everybody's trying to go as late as they can. It was interesting. Here we go, this is... Yeah, it is a push from Schischrig. And, you know, very interesting with what Kristoffersson said. I had to push the braking to the last metre to get around Ekstrom. Ekstrom got a good launch. Audi's launches are good here. You kind of need backward on the front row if you're going to... Well, but then I suppose the Peugeot launches are good too. We know it's not going to be Solberg on the front row with him anyway.
No, absolutely not. I mean, he'll be absolutely gutted, to be honest. And luckily, Johan's done a great job and got himself through to the front row of the grid in the final.
Could be on for another maximum point score here. As I say, you can't wrap up the title. That's almost certainly going to happen at the Circuit of the Americas, which is where we're heading next. Austin, Texas, in a fortnight's time. The cars will be leaving here tomorrow, most of them, some the following day, and they've got a few days, and I think they get loaded next week, and then flown across Dakota. Woodland Group dealing with the logistics for us, logistics partner for the World Rallycross Championship, and then they'll be unloaded at the other end. So I'm told that the plane that they're going on has 5 seats in it, and then the rest of it's just rallycross cars. That's a problem. No, I'm not on that flight, guy. No, I'm not on that. But it's cool, I think, don't you? Like, apparently you open the door, you know, as expecting to find economy, and there it is, just millions of pounds worth of rallycross cars. On board with Backerud. There's his fan club. Yeah.
They know when the camera's on them, don't they?
Yeah. I think one of them's holding a Smurf there, in fact. Kevin Hansen. Yes, come on, Kevin. He's focused too. You can hear the engine just ticking away. Uneven tick over, all heavily fueled up and anti-lag ready to go. Can't wait. Come on.
He's firing himself up. He's got a lot to do to come from the back row, but as we've just seen, it can happen.
It can happen indeed. He's enjoying it. We'll be enjoying it in a moment too. Well, we've seen our first 3 people go through from semi-final number 1. Johan Kristoffersen, Ekstrom and Gronholm have booked their slots. There are 3 more places in the final up for grabs. Semi-final 2, all lined up. We saw what happened in the first one, down at the first corner. What's going to happen this time? Take a look at who's going down there. On the front row, Sebastian Loeb and Timmy Hansen. Loeb won here. He took his debut World Rallycross win a couple of years ago in Latvia at the first event here in Latvia. He's the only person to have beaten Kristoffersen this year, of course, taking the win in Belgium. Can he do it again here? Timmy Hansen, if he can perform like he did earlier on today to win Q3, he is a real threat as well. But note, no new tyres at this point, 1 for Sebastian. Backward and Muller on row 2, so it's all Peugeot and all Audi. I think we'll see those guys being relatively careful. They won't want to take each other out. And Backward, brand new boots all round. Interesting to see the pace differential between him and the Peugeots. At the back, the 2 guys who dragged themselves in at the last second, Kevin Hansen and Liam Doran. Not a lot for either of them to lose. Kevin, of course, doing the whole championship, but 3rd driver at Peugeot. Liam only doing a few outings this year. So this could be exciting. OK, Marshals will leave the grid. On board with Kevin Hansen. Clunks the car into gear. He'll double-check everything, just make sure it's definitely in the gear he wants to launch in. Could be first, second, can't see with the light we've got here into the cockpits. Backward with new tyres on the second row. Will it be enough for him to squeeze a gap between Loeb and Hansen? Will Loeb and Hansen be sensible? Are there tactics there? Will it depend on how the launch goes? Muller likes the outside line too. Oh, great start by Backward. Super hooked up in between the 2 Peugeots. I think he's trying to force a way through. Loeb and Hansen, if they have any tactics around the wall. Loeb's in the wall. Hansen's on the gravel. Loeb's going to get the whole shot. Hansen somehow comes around to the back row. Muller's ended up on the dirt on the outside. It's Hansen in P3, and Doran is all the way up to P2. Backward has lost out, having got that amazing start and got up through the gap. Couldn't quite make it work.
You couldn't write it, could you?
No.
You know, such a great launch on those new tyres from Andreas Backerud. Squeezed by the Peugeots. And obviously, they were concentrating and fighting so hard, they just couldn't stop the cars in time. Liam Durant has come from 6th to 2nd.
So Liam on for a fight back here. Could he make the final? Sebastian Loeb's got a handy little gap out front. Liam with Kevin in behind him. Who's gone Joker? I think that's Timmy who's slotted into the Joker in the background, is it? And Backward is in 4th place. So Muller a long way off the back. So Muller a little bit like Solberg has lost out and he's gone from this. So it's 5 cars looking for 3 spaces. Liam being chased by Kevin Hansen. And this may well be the fight which will end up being for that last lot. Backwards on the back of these guys already, and there's a bit of me that wonders if he should have jokered too.
Yeah, potentially, but that's what we've got to watch the gap now, you know. He's probably got to go to get in behind Timmy Hansen and hold the load. Oh, yes.
Kevin made a mistake. Backwards right up underneath
Getting
him.
held up.
He is, and that's the thing. He's got those brand new tyres. Had that amazing
not making
launch.
the most of them, or can't make the most of them.
He has to go now, but if one of these 2 jokers now, Backwards in real trouble.
Yeah.
So Backward will maybe have to go this time. Liam Doran through the left-hander. And Doran goes Joker. Backward goes with him. So Backward has gone with Doran. Doran always late on the brakes, runs the car a bit deep.
I'm not sure that's going to pay off because, you know, Liam's been struggling for pace by his own admission this weekend.
They're trying to cover Hansen. They're trying to cover Hansen coming around the outside. Doran's not going to get there, but Hansen might come around the outside, and Hansen is. So Hansen takes the place from Doran backwards, slots in behind them. So that's worked out for Timmy, and actually that's not too bad for Liam either. So now it comes down to a fight really between Kevin and Liam.
Absolutely. You know, it's on a track for Liam, Doran, and obviously Andreas Backward. We're watching it right here, so as long as Liam doesn't get distracted, Andreas Backward has to pass him.
Well, of course, we saw Shisha got a little bit distracted in the last one when he had a lot of pressure from behind from Tim Zianov. I don't think Doran will be quite so feel quite so pressurised, but Backward with brand new tyres on. Loebluck has got a fantastic gap now out front of Kevin Hansen. I thought Kevin might go there to respond immediately. Doran minus 0.2 at the minute. It's saying that Doran will be out in front of Kevin. Timmy almost certain, of course, with the two cars in front of him to make it through. Interesting.
And meanwhile, Sebastian Loeb's out front doing his thing, racking it up times.
I'm wondering if Peugeot got any spare tyres left in terms of, he's only put the one new one on yet, and might they have a pair left for the final?
No, he's already used 3 before.
Okay, so maybe not then. So it looks like everyone will be on used tyres in the final. Remember, they've got a few to carry over from the start of the season, so some of the teams have been saving them for very abrasive tracks like here.
Liam struggling with understeer massively there.
Oh, he's made a mistake backward, might be able to get underneath. Can't quite find it though, a couple of laps still to go.
Andreas Backward's going to be pulling his hair out here. He cannot do anything about it. Look over this jump, hard braking into the hairpin. He can go nowhere.
Kevin trying still to try and gap Liam. 3.2 back to 6.6 at the minute. It's super close in between them. But Liam made that mistake on that lap. And would Kevin have been fed that information? You know, he's struggling or not? They just leave him to it.
No, they'll be taking that pressure away from him. They won't be feeding him any of that. They'll just be telling him, drive as fast as you can, and we'll tell you when to joker. They know that anyway. They don't need to tell him it.
Loeb out front, doing a fantastic job, inch perfect. That's what he was when he took that win here a couple of years ago. He would love to take his second win of the season. I say only he has beaten Kristoffersson this year. Can he do it again here? We're looking at the gap between Kevin Hansen and Liam Doran at the bottom of your screen. And at the minute, it's now showing Kevin. So it was showing 2/10 in Liam's favour. It's now showing 1/10 in Kevin's favour. It's going to be extremely, extremely close between them. Kevin, does he go now? He does. Kevin goes joker. So watching now then between Kevin Hansen and Liam Doran. This is potentially going to be for the last slot in the semi-finals. There's another lap still to go. Remember, Doran struggling. He's got understeer on the exit of the right-hander. I think Kevin's going to get this. Pops it up over the curb.
Fairly easily.
Yeah. So Kevin then is ahead of Liam.
But Andreas again is just can go nowhere. He's going to try the inside now, but
even if he does, though, you know, he's another place back now. He's got.
He's at the back. I don't know where Muller's gone, but he's not clocking lap time. So
Muller has disappeared, no 0 laps, so Muller's pulled off at the start of the. We saw him go down the back straight from the commentary position. Liam's now made a mistake, and this time Backward's going to get him. Contact between them, so Backward gets through, but it doesn't matter because it's too late. So it's a shame for Backward because with those new tyres and that incredible launch, Peugeot shut the door, which they're entitled to do, but it didn't work out. So down towards the final couple of corners, Sebastian Loeb is absolutely miles in front. He's going to round the right and the left-hander. You're on board with Backwards. He comes up over the jump with Liam in right behind him, almost contact. Loeb takes the win, so Sebastian Loeb has taken it. P2 goes to Timmy Hansen. Kevin Hansen comes through in 3rd place. Doran and Backward going around the first corner. I think they thought it was still going, Doran and Backward. Look, Backward, let's see if Backward indicates towards Liam. Backward's not very happy. He's going to get out the car and have a wave. The crowd have enjoyed it. I don't know that... Backward and Liam have parked their cars. OK, there was no talking. I thought they were going to have a conversation, but look, to be honest, either way, that wasn't lost for me by the battle with Liam. It was lost at the start. Sebastian Loeb takes the win in semi-final 2 from Timmy Hansen and Kevin Hansen. Liam Doran, Andreas Backward and Nico Muller will go no further. So just the one Audi through from the first. All 3 Peugeots going through in this one. So fantastic performance by them. Neil Cole is with Sebastian Loeb, who's just won semi-final 2. I wonder how Sebastian is feeling ahead of a potential second victory in Latvia.
Sebastian, you really had to hold your nerve during that first drag to the first corner, but the rest of the race looked pretty straightforward.
It was a tough fight in the first corner. I got some hit from the side, and it was difficult to keep the first place. Even the steering is bended, so I need to go quickly to the service. It's we won the semi. Now we try to check what it is on the car, and we need to go.
Get it fixed.
Okay, this was the start then, so you're on board with Kevin here. Look at this in front on the left. Backward launch was absolutely mega. And in fact, Loeb ends up bouncing off the wall. And they were pretty lucky, Hansen and Loeb, to get away with it. He really got beaten up, Kevin did, didn't he, behind Liam there.
You can see it from this angle. Obviously, Andreas Backerud, he had a super duper start, just could do nothing with it because the squeeze was on in a pincer movement. And obviously, Sebastian just got released from it, could go, and Liam came through the middle. But yeah, from the back, obviously, Andreas Backerud's gone from being the superstar of the start line to being dumped out back in 2 corners.
I don't know what you're supposed to do, really, because I sometimes think third on the grid is the worst place because you've got somebody outside you on the same row. If you get a good launch, they normally shut the door in front of you anyway, especially when it's 2 teammates from a rival manufacturer. So what do you do?
He was asking a lot to be 2 car lengths ahead after just 150, 170 metres
Brilliant
off the
start.
start line. It was fantastic. He probably could have done it if he hadn't have taken contact. But when you've got 2 teammates who are P1 and P2 and you're trying to go between them, I don't think you can give much chance.
And Loeb had nowhere to go. To be fair to him, Loeb hit the wall in turn 1.
He had to fight back. Yeah. It was all coming from every which angle.
That was the mistake there from Doran where he dropped it. You could see he dropped it on the brakes. Backerud got through there. So Backerud didn't look over the moon at the end. We didn't see any gestures. Okay,
he done well to get that close to Kevin.
So Doran passed him at the line. That's my bad. I didn't spot that on the timing screen because we were so busy looking at the top 3. Doran passed him at the line, and I think he got a nudge in the corner. So maybe Backerud not over the moon. That's why we saw them pulling up. Maybe they'll have a word. Of course, they're old mates, you know. Doran used to run Backerud, but
they have mutual friends.
Yeah. There's a couple of races left to go. One race in particular that these guys will be looking forward to, of course, is European Rallycross Championship for Supercar. Can the home hero Reinis Nitish take a win? Find out soon enough. Massive, massive crowd in Latvia. All having a great time. Look, fantastic. Say 2 races left to go. European Rallycross Championship for Supercar will be next, followed by, of course, World Championship final for round 9. Right, we're going to take a look at Andreas Backerud on board. Here we go, Guy. This was incredible. Oh, my goodness me.
It just hooked up and went, didn't it? But you can see it puts a bit of energy actually into Timmy's car there, and it just obviously Timmy's fighting like heck. Comes along. Timmy actually did a great job to hold on to that.
Backerud did well to get round the wall, didn't he? And then look, there was a lot of contact here. This was. I'm actually surprised. I think Muller must have had a problem. Well, he clearly did because he pulled off. Even, you know, even if you're 15 seconds out the back, you don't stop. So I was going to say there was a lot of contact there, and you would expect something to break. These cars are very strong, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. They're made for that. You know there's going to be contact, but at the same time, they're ultimate racing machines. And, you know, when you're bashing each other up into the first corner, like Sebastian Loeb, he was out front after that incident, got away, circulated for 6 laps, won, but still had a problem with the car that was caused by that fight into turn 1 and turn 2. Here we go from head on. You can actually see Muller here. He ends up away across to the left, yeah. I remember that.
Spun by was somebody trying to come around his outside?
I remember he did a loop around the back. I don't know why.
Here we go. No, he gets collected by Backerud, look. Okay. Well, bit of carnage down at the start there. Oh, there's Neil Cole now with Timmy Hansen, look. So we're going to be able to hear from Timmy ahead of the final.
Timmy, all 3 Peugeots made it through from that semi, but at the start it didn't look like any of you were going to go through. Andreas was quite tough into that first corner.
Yeah, it was squeezing and battling all the way down to turn 1, and that put my car completely the wrong direction. I was facing here, and turn 2 was behind me. But I managed to get the car turned, lucky not to have a hit, and came out 4th. And I went straight into the Joker and made a really good Joker lap and a really good lap to beat Shishiri as he came out. That was really important. And then I was chasing down Kevin. I knew Seb was too far ahead. And really happy to see him come out behind me.
Luck in the final.
Thank you.
Yeah, all the Peugeots through from semi-final number 2, so good job from them. I hadn't actually spotted them through in the same one. I think, you know, Kevin will be ever so pleased. He's been P17 overnight. He makes it through to the final here in Latvia, so great job by Kevin. How many finals has he been in? 1, 2, 3. He's been in 3 so far this year. He was in the final in the UK. He's at the 6th, the 5th and the 4th. Kevin would, imagine if he got a podium here and been 17th overnight. It'd be absolutely amazing. What can Kevin do from the back of the grid? Anything can happen in turn 1. Well, of course, alongside the World Rallycross Championship here in Latvia, we've had action all weekend from the European Rallycross Championship for supercars. Well, fittingly here in front of a crowd which is absolutely packed with fans from all over Europe, but of course mostly from Latvia, because this wonderful track is in the heart of Riga. It's absolutely amazing that a dream came true for Reinis Nitish. He won the European Rallycross Championship for Super 1600 back in 2013. This time round, he's won the European Rallycross Championship for supercars at home in Latvia. Been a fantastic season for Nitish, changing teams over the winter and leaving the World Championship to go for the European Championship title, and a decision I think he really enjoyed. He's had some great fights with Anton Marklund, Cyril Raymond as well. This, of course, was back in Sweden earlier on in the year. A few contentious moments, this was one of them. Of course, then Christian Sabo came onto the scene as well, so that there's been some amazing drivers up at the front. If Raymond had done all the rounds, it would have been a little bit closer, but you cannot take it away from Reinis Nitish. Even with this problem he had earlier on today, he still managed to take the title here. Fantastic.
European Rallycross champion, and you've done it here at home in Latvia.
Yeah, I had a chance to do it in France, and we didn't use it, but I wanted to, because sometimes the second time the chance doesn't come. But I did it here in Latvia. We are the champions!
Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
And this was Reinis when he returned to the team. Brilliant stuff. Set promotion run in the car for him. Only no champagne shower yet, guys. He's got a final to go, and you don't want to be getting into the race car stinking of champagne.
Well, that was actually after the qualifiers, wasn't it? So he still had a semi to do, but, you know, ran by Finnish team, you wouldn't know it. You know, they're fully behind him. It's like a bunch of Latvians in there. What a party and what a group of people outside there was.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Reinis up onto the roof. Yes. OK, we'll take a look at the championship standings. Reinis Nitish on 127 points, can't be beaten by Anton Marklund. This was after the semi-finals. Remember, there's only 8 points up for grabs max. In fact, he'd won it after Q3, because we knew he'd made the semi-finals after Q3. He wanted to wait until the end of Q4 to celebrate it. Marklund in second, Cyril Raymond in third, then Brinderson, Dubourg, Linnemann, Munich and Sabo are your top 8. But it's those top 3 that have really done battle a lot this year. And so we're seeing some emerging talents in this series. It's a real hotbed for drivers getting into the supercar class, and you're going to see a few of them in this one. Let's take a look at the grid then for the last round of the European Rallycross Championship for supercars. Round 5, Riga in Latvia. On the front row, Reinis Nitish on the pole, the European Rallycross champion. Can he take the win, or will Christian Sabo take his debut victory here? Sabo, of course, was second last time out in France, was gutted not to take the win. Anton Marklund, if he hadn't had a bad weekend in Sweden, he'd have been right in the fight, and he's been great today. Rennie Munich, I think this year's been brilliant for Rennie. He's done, it just seems so much quicker than he has in previous seasons. And at the back, Cyril Raymond and Sondre Evjen. Evjen on his debut in the Polo, running with JC Race Technic, normally one of the RX2 drivers, and great to see him up in a supercar final for the first time. Just made it in the semis, well, didn't he? Super close between him and Dubourg.
I'm expecting fireworks in this one, to be quite honest.
Yeah, there's all... Reinis wants to win at home, doesn't he? But at the end of the day, nobody else minds now. The championship's done. It's going to be mega.
Some quick guys in this pack as well.
So Marklund in that tricky starting position that Backrup was in. Cyril Raymond also kind of boxed in at the back, but they're there to pick up the pieces if there are pieces in the first corner. The crowd want to see Nitish win at home. Can he get away clean? He does. Nitish and Sabo side by side. Marklund with a great launch from row 2, but they shut the door early. Nitish should get the inside line here through the first corner. Sabo tries to slot in behind. Marklund's going to go P3. Munich can't find a way round. Cyril Raymond has managed to move up from P5 to P4 already. Sondre Evjen slots into 6th place. Marklund doesn't look up the inside of Sabo. And now, Marklund's going to get past Sabo. Marklund, Sabo, side by side. Marklund contact with him. Sabo goes deep, so Sabo's not going to take the win here. Raymond up the inside into P2. Marklund drops down to 3rd, and that has played into Nitish's hands at home. The crowd will go nuts when they see him come around the last corner.
They will, but Cyril Raymond has looked out there. He has absolutely landed with it in his hands now, because for Szabo and Markland to get tangled like that and run deep into that corner. Cyril Raymond, he was on the back row of the grid. He's now in P2.
Oh, great stuff. Kept himself out of trouble. In the Joker lap already is Rennie Munich. Raymond with a bit of pressure behind from Anton Markland. Szabo, I feel a little bit sorry for Szabo, but to be fair, Markland was a good 2/3 up the inside there, so maybe Szabo shouldn't have shut the door into turn 4.
Yeah, I don't think so, maybe either. He should have let it go and raced.
Okay, so Cyril trying to chase down Nitish. Nitish with a 1 second lead. The crowd, you can hear each time he goes past, our cameras are in different positions. When they go past a grandstand full of people, you hear the crowd. It's one of my favourite things to hear. Lars Raymond locking a wheel on the way down into the left-hander. And he is close, look, he's only 1.1 off the back of Nitish, but there's 4 laps to go, Guy. You know, can he do it from here with a bit of tactics?
Well, he's got to close the gap to start with, then he's got to start to think about tactics, because if he doesn't close that gap, it's not going to happen, you know. There's a good second gap there at the moment, so even if he chokers, and you can see these 3 are going to go as a change. It's probably, as a train, sorry. It's probably Markland, if he gets on the back of Cyril Raymond, he's the one that might joker first, because he's not quite closing the gap, Cyril Raymond on Rainis Nitish.
Look what's up for grabs too. Markland versus Raymond. Look, 101 to 100 points. It would see Markland in second place, Raymond in third. So P2 still up for grabs in this one. Cyril Raymond.
He's
fantastically with Peugeot,
He's down under a second now. He was 1.1 before, and it's Raymond. Rainis Nitish has just responded.
He did this, didn't he? Do you remember in the semi-final, he chased down the car behind, made pressure until they made a mistake and he managed to slot up the inside. He's a very cool, calm operator.
But if there's one person that knows this track better than anyone else, it's that man in the lead.
I've got to be honest, do you want to see Nitish win at home? Raymond won at home. I'd love to see Nitish win at home.
I want to see the crowd go berserk.
Yeah, me too, me too. I think Rainis will go pretty berserk later as well if he takes a win here. So it would be nice. Of course, last year, Johan Kristoffersson won the World Rallycross Championship here in Latvia and stood on the top step of the podium as well. To take a championship with a win, guys, extra special, isn't it?
Especially on home soil.
Oh, amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, even better, isn't
Raymond's coming back, he's trying at him, but he just can't close the gap. 8/10 is the closest he's got. We can see it here for our own eyes. And obviously, Markland, he's something similar behind Raymond, so it's just none of them can eat into each other's advantage.
I imagine the teams have done the maths already, and they'll know, won't they, for Markland now with Szabo out of the picture. Szabo is still circulating. He's back 10 seconds from the leader, about 3 seconds off the back of Munich. And Sondre Evjen up into P4. So Sondre Evjen P4, but hasn't jokered yet.
This is, of course, about skill behind the wheel, but it's much about mental strength as well.
Not making a mistake, you mean, under pressure?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you help as a spotter, or have you just got to leave him to it?
Help as much as you can, just to say that you're doing a good job, but no distractions.
So if Raymond could take the win here, he would take with it, I think, the championship, because of course he's only 1 point back from Raymond. So Raymond needs to take the win. If he takes the win, he's only 1 point back from Markland, and he would take P2 in the championship. So that's why, of course, he's so desperate as well to get up onto the back of Nitish, apart from the fact he just likes winning, Guy.
Absolutely, and there's a lap and a half to go, but Cyril Raymond's driving the car a lot more direct than Rainis Nitish. Rainis is just moving around a little bit.
If Nitish doesn't go, Raymond has to, because otherwise he's got to pass him on track. So if Nitish doesn't go, and he does.
Absolutely.
So Cyril Raymond and Anton Markland both go joker this time. Markland knows all he's got to do is follow him home. Markland there with a problem on the way into the right.
Steer, wasn't it?
So Markland as well doesn't need to lose a position, because if he loses a position, they're equal on points, then it'll go on count back. I don't even want to get into that. So Markland falling a little into the clutches and Munich behind. Evjen has dropped back now. The joker laps have played out, and it's going to come down to Rainis Nitish. Can he do it? Can he do it?
Well,
Markland struggling.
It was around a right-hander who was struggling, so let's watch. They're all left here now, but at the same time, he's dropping in the clutches of Rennie Munich, actually.
So Cyril Raymond is 3.6 seconds back. We know that the joker lap here is tricky. Nitish comes up over the jump. The crowd is starting to hold their breath.
Look at the gap.
He's the European Rallycross champion, but can he take the win here at home in Latvia as well? He's got the right-hander to go into the apex, gets it in tight. Watching for Cyril Raymond on the standard lap. Nitish over the jump. The crowd are starting to stand up in the back of the grandstands. The Latvian flags are flying. Rainis Nitish, the European Rallycross champion for Supercar, takes the championship and the win at home in Latvia. Fantastic! Yes, Rainis!
What a feeling he must have inside him now.
I feel great for him, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's how you want to see it done. Yes, go on, Rainis!
The tyres don't matter anymore, as long as he keeps enough rubber on them to make sure he's overweight.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. He'll be on the roof of that car, I guarantee you, in a minute. Look at this. Go on, Rain, it's on the roof. Lap it up, lap it up. All the lights are on the safety vehicles in the middle of the track. The ambulances, the fire engines, and all of the lights. You've seen the fireworks. He's so pleased, and rightly so. It's a brilliant, brilliant victory for Nitish at home in Latvia. Not only the race win, Cyril Raymond the first to congratulate him, because Raymond knows how hard he tried. Anton's there too, that's brilliant. That's your podium, ladies and gentlemen, for the 2018 European Rallycross Championship for Supercars. Nitish wins it from Raymond and Markland. Munich, Evgen and Sabo. Great job by Evgen on his debut in a supercar. Fantastic performance from the RX2 driver. Goes to show what a good support category that is as well. But the top three here are the top three in the championship. Markland taking second from Nitish. I think we're going to see the standings in just a moment. Brilliant. Look, he's done the roof again.
Yeah, but Reinis Nitish, if he was ever in any doubt, it's a small country, Latvia. He knows this country has been behind him this weekend.
Amazing, amazing. Nitish takes it. Markland, look, holds on to second place by 1 point from Cyril Raymond. And I'll tell you what, well done, Cyril Raymond, because he missed the first round. Be fair to Nitish, even if he won it with 30 points, look, Nitish would have edged him in theory over the course of the season. So a massively deserving European Rallycross champion. And look at the talent down that list. It's a brilliant series. Ah, oh, fantastic. They're still going mad. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Well, they're not going anywhere, of course. The reason they're not going anywhere is that we have got one more race still to go here in Riga. Round 9 of the 2018 FIA World Rallycross Championship is about to be settled in the heart of the capital city of Latvia. Seen some brilliant racing here the last couple of years. First year it was won by Sebastian Loeb. Johan Kristoffersson took it last time. So there you go. That's all you need to know. The two previous winners of this event are on the front row together, and they're the only two guys who've won events this year. It's Ekström versus Hansen on row 2. And it's Gronholm versus Kevin Hansen on row 3. We've seen row 3 have some fantastic results already. Kevin Hansen was 17th 24 hours ago, sitting in the tent. We were ripping it out of him for being 17th, and he was all smiles. He has fought back emphatically today. Ah, oh, great, fantastic atmosphere here. I hope you feel some of that atmosphere at home. It's just fantastic.
Well, the locals have had a great time watching their local hero just win, but they are fanatical about this around here, World RX, and they've bought into it in the last 3 years, haven't they? Now is the crescendo of all crescendos. This is going to be some race.
It is indeed. The 3 Peugeots down the right-hand side. There's not a lot they can do tactically if any of them are thinking going around the outside. You know, they can be sensible, of course. And a Volkswagen, an Audi, and a Hyundai up the inside. Seen some amazing launches, and don't forget, of course, that front row. Loeb and Kristoffersson don't have to shut the door on Ekström if they don't want to. I suspect they will, because they won't want him getting in the way down in turn 1. Ekström will be wise to that. I think Ekström will wait and go round the outside for turn 2. So inside turn 1, outside turn 2, just defend his line and hope there's carnage on the inside. You're going to find out now anyway. Here we go. Round 9. Great start. Ekström hooks it up really nicely, but it's not enough. Kristoffersson going to get down to turn 1 first. Ekström's up the inside of Loeb, though. Loeb pushes him in towards the wall. Oh, Ekström runs wide. Gronholm's going to try and get through. Sebastian Loeb and Kevin Hansen side by side. The 3 Peugeots at the back of the grid. Timmy Hansen gets dumped at the very rear. So Timmy's in behind his brother. 3 Peugeots in a line, but Kristoffersson's out front already.
So everybody down the inside of the grid have all won, haven't they? And everybody on the outside haven't.
Timmy on Kevin. Timmy's past Kevin already. I don't know if he definitely didn't let him through because he tried to shut the door.
Yeah, he tried to get back at him, but I don't think he probably knew who was where for a split second, maybe. But as we see, Johan Kristoffersson, he just got a great start and he was off, wasn't he? And then the melee was all on the outside.
Yeah, amazing. So what do Peugeot do tactically now? They're going to send Loeb, but Kevin goes with him. Interesting. So Kevin's gone with Loeb from P6. He might as well.
They've got to, because there's a bit of a train in front of them. They're not going to make headway. The only way they can make headway is with free space in front of them.
Fresh air, indeed. That's what they need. That's what Kristoffersson has got. Matthias Ekström wins the Supercharger Award, Monster Energy Supercharger, and that, of course, was that brilliant start. But again, you can't do much with it from P3 on the grid.
No, you've got to make 2 car lengths up just to be level.
Him and backward with some amazing starts this weekend. Gronholm in 3rd place. Be absolutely amazing if Gronholm took his first podium here in the World Rallycross Championship. Could he do it? That would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Of course, the guys from Set Promotion heavily involved in the GRX team as well. They'd have an absolutely fantastic weekend.
I think Timmy has to go Joker this lap probably because he's, okay, not on the back of Nicholas, but he can't for years now. He can't afford to spend another lap behind him.
So Timmy's going to go Joker. If Timmy goes Joker, I think that Gronholm will respond on the very next lap, because if he doesn't, Timmy's in the quicker car.
Well, absolutely, and Nicholas already has 2 cars ahead of him, so the best he's going to finish is 3rd. But if the guys who have jokered obviously come out in front of him, then he's going to get relegated.
Watching for Loeb and Hansen now. Hansen and Loeb as they come around the merge, and Loeb's got round him, so now Loeb is the danger man. And for Nicholas, he needs to hope that Hansen harasses Loeb a little bit. He's probably not going to, is he teammates? They're not going to push that hard.
Nicholas Grönholm's doing a great job because he's on Matthias Ekstrom's pace. They're both pretty much, Matthias Ekstrom's on a 49.3, Nicholas Grönholm a 49.1.
So Nicholas fighting for his first podium. Go on, Nicholas, get in there. So Nicholas, what's the gap back? 2.5 to 5.3. Oh, it's not quite enough at the moment, I don't think, but Grönholm needs to do an absolutely inch-perfect lap here, and he needs to get the car turned in if he's going to Joker on this lap to hold the position, and he does. Grönholm goes Joker, but with him has gone Ekstrom. So Grönholm goes Joker. Will the dust affect Grönholm? It doesn't. It's a great Joker lap, but Sebastian Loeb's going to be very, very tight on the merge. Grönholm over the jump. Ekstrom just in front of him. Ekstrom's gone to respond to the Peugeot threat behind as well, so Ekstrom's going to get in front. Go on, Nicholas, push, push, push. So Nicholas on the inside. Oh, Sebastian Loeb gets round the outside of him. So Loeb has managed to get past Grönholm. Grönholm now is going to have to fight for it if he wants that debut podium here.
Seemed a late call to Matthias Ekstrom, didn't he? He cut across the gravel in between the standard line and the Joker line, but he made it happen, and he took the car in, make sure he got around the corner and made it stick.
Yeah, so Loeb, to be fair, yeah, Loeb was going quicker than he was. Loeb had done a couple of tenths quicker than Ekstrom had on the previous lap. Grönholm right there, he's so close to that
yeah,
podium.
well, he's got overtaken, you know, exactly. It's tantalising, wasn't it?
Would have been great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it's not over yet, and he's sticking in the train, so let's see if he can hold at the back of Sebastian at least.
Christophersen's going in with 2 laps to go, so Johan goes in, might as well again cover everybody off, you know, if you don't make any mistakes. Incredible, absolutely incredible performance by the world champion. So he won the title here last year. He can't win the title here this year, but look at this.
I did say that probably, as we picked Sebastian Loeb and Timmy Hansen were the 2 that were going to threaten him here. But after the first and second corner again, Johan just had clear air and a gap.
You've got to beat him to turn 1, and that's quite hard here actually, because if you're on the pole, you know, turn 1 and into turn 2, it's
but you
around
make
the
your
outside.
own look.
Yeah, it doesn't work quite as well as Loiak. You know, Loiak can take a chance around the outside to get the inside of the second corner, and here with the wall and things, it's just not quite
massive risk.
Yeah, absolutely. Ekstrom 2.1 seconds back from Christophersen with a couple of laps left to go. Whereabouts is Grönholm? Grönholm's dropped back just 7 tenths off the back of Loeb, but great job by Nicholas Grönholm. I'm so impressed. So, to give you an idea, this is from WRX Stats on Twitter, well done to them. 66 points more for Nicholas Grönholm this year than last year. He's the most improved driver in terms of points scored from one season to the next. Really impressive.
You can see it in his driving style on the track, and also the team Set Promotion are doing a fantastic job with him and the car.
Amazing, absolutely fantastic. So
he's on the back, he's close in a little bit on Sebastian Loeb.
He's close, isn't he? He's
not quite close enough.
He's hoping for that one little mistake, isn't he? But look at the pace, great, you know, really great. Look, he's right on him. Go on, Nicholas. And Nicholas is right on the back. He's taking every risk possible to try and get past.
Not a factory car.
No, exactly. That's what I meant. Not a factory. Neither is a GCK Megane. They can be beaten. The factory cars can be beaten by the privateer teams. And that's what's so great about this championship. Loeb's going to hold the tight line. There's going to be no way through. But this one is all about Johan Christophersen. He won the title here last year. He's not going to do that, but he's going to set more records. Nobody's ever won more than 7 events in a season, and Christophersen is about to win his 8th. Johan Christophersen, 8 wins from 9 rounds is a brand new record. And that is to go with his 6 TQs in a row. He just keeps setting new standards in the World Rallycross Championship. Incredible.
Can anybody beat this guy?
Not on the form he's in at the minute, no, basically.
It's unreal as, you know, a driver trying to get to the head of those other drivers, knowing he's on pole.
Yeah. They've got to beat. He has to be beaten to turn 1. So the best opportunity to beat him was Loiak. You can beat him to turn 1, make him joker in traffic. You stand a chance. Not this time though. Johan Christophersen takes the win in Latvia. Matthias Ekstrom is 2nd with the Monster Energy Supercharge Award. Sebastian Loeb 3rd. Nicholas Grönholm so close to that podium, but it's not going to be this time. And then it's Timmy Hansen and Kevin Hansen.
You don't get gifted pole position in a final, but he does the job building up to it. You know, qualifying sessions is a real reason why he's on pole. But here we go with Hansen on the outside, obviously running into turn 1. You can see all the Peugeots get pushed to the right, apart from obviously Kevin, who we're on board with. and now running down to corner 3. Niklas Grönholm obviously has looked out and got up in there.
Grönholm, of course, with 1 4th place earlier on this year, back in Spain, so he would have liked to have gone 1 place better. Couldn't do it this time.
Yeah, he just saw Matthias Ekström. He looked like a late call from a team, but he's that sharp in his head. He made it happen. He cut across the dust and the dirt. And
2:10. I mean, it would have been a call, wouldn't it? Because, of course, he can't look at split times in the car like we can out here. This was Grönholm on just a massive push. Great to see, you know, similar style to his dad there, you know, the World Rally legend on a big push. Sebastian Loeb keeping it tidy, and Kristoffersson an 8th win of the year, a new record. Crowd heading down towards the podium now. The World Championship drivers will be picking up their trophies soon. We've got another treat for the Latvian crowd before that, so stick around. Beautiful sunshine to finish off the day. And there are the crowd. The reason the crowd are going mad is because down in front of them on the finish line is this man, Reinis Nitish, the European Rallycross champion for Supercar.
You didn't have to win the race here, but you did anyway. What was going through your mind knowing you were already European Rallycross champion?
You're wrong. I had to win. I had to win. Before this race, everybody asked, do you count the points or something? I said, no, I have to win. And that's how we do it.
The crowd are very much enjoying it. Have you enjoyed racing here at home in Latvia? And to seal the championship here, give us an idea what it means to you.
It means a lot, you know. I had the chance to get the championship title already in France. I didn't use it, but then Raymond Cyril said, okay, I won in France, you win in Riga. And that's what we did. And championship title plus victory, that's something special for me, what I will remember for whole life.
Big round of applause from the crowd, please. And let's bring in the trophy and to give you the trophy is 14-time European Rallycross champion, Kenneth Hansen.
Fantastic stuff. One European Rallycross legend handing over the title and the trophy to a new name on the cup, Reinis Nitish, European Rallycross champion for Supercar. Confetti's gone off, big rainbow of colour across the start-finish line. Good job they waited till after the final, but fantastic. The crowd absolutely loved that, brilliant. Photographers all down there as well. You can't miss Reinis in his high-vis race suit. He's not going to get run over, is he, Guy?
I wonder if he keeps it on for the party tonight.
Wait, the race suit, yeah, maybe. The party's going to start soon, I know that. Pretty sure it'll be an epic one tonight. I'm really, really pleased for Reinis, and it was, I love it. Neil was like, he didn't have to win. He's like, no, you're wrong, I have to win, you know. And yeah.
You can only do it that way in front of your home crowd, especially when you get it on pole.
It might never be repeated. You've got, you know, for you to win the title, remember your event's got to be at a certain point in the calendar. So
Absolutely.
Kevin's won events at Sweden, remember, in the European Championship, but of course Sweden's halfway through, so you're not taking the title at that point.
A lot of stars have to align for it to happen like this, and it's a magic moment, one he'll never forget for the rest of his life. He probably doesn't realise it now.
No.
But me being a bit older, when you look back at those magic moments in your career, then they make you smile.
Yeah, lovely stuff, Guy. Fantastic. Kristoffersson is the winner here, but Reinis Nitish, I think, has got the biggest smile on his face. Well, if you're watching at home, then Kristoffersson is who you're looking at now, heading down to pick up another trophy. 8 wins from 9 rounds. Amazing performance. If you are watching at home, you've probably just had an advert break, in which case you've missed Reinis Nitish being given the European Rallycross Championship trophy. There he is, with Kenneth Hansen handed it to him, the 14-time European Rallycross champion. Great moment.
Never mind bigger trophy cabinet for Johan Kristoffersson. I think he's going to be able to start building internal walls.
From
even external walls.
Yeah. Made of trophies.
You have to take your hat off to him. You know, people say, obviously, VW and Johan, you know, winning all the time. Is it good for the championship? Of course it is. If you want to win, you want to beat the best. At the moment, he is the best. VW are doing a fantastic job. Like I said, take your hat off.
Well, Ekström just did a quick donut outside the commentary box, which was very good of him. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at the championship standings. After round 9 then in Latvia, Kristoffersen with, I think, an increased lead. Matthias Ekström up to second, Andreas Backerud down to third. So the two Audis are in P2 and P3. You can see it's still close between Loeb and Solberg. Hansen has dropped down the order somewhat. He's got a -15 penalty, of course, for a third engine change as well. Niklas Gronom very much the best of the rest, and deservedly so. Kevin Hansen in the third, Peugeot in P8. So Kristoffersen has dominated this season, you know, but he's not the only person to have done it. Matti Alamäki back in 1989 won 9 out of 11 European Rallycross Championship races. Martin Schankel won 7 out of 11 in 1991. Kenneth Hansen, Timmers Yarnov, 6 out of 10 for them, 2002, 2003, 2012. So, yes, there's dominance, but this has been done before. Other people have done it. So, you know, if you're watching at home thinking, oh, I wish there was another winner, well, everyone else on the grid wishes there was another winner, but they can't get it done. They've got to beat the best, as Guy Wilkes said. Here are the team standings after Latvia. PSRX Volkswagen Sweden on 428. EKS Audi Sport are second, but look how close it is between them and Team Peugeot Total. Then it's GRX Tanaco GC Competition and Olsberg's MSE.
And another incredible result, another brilliant final led from the start. Just talk us through that race.
First of all, semi-final was tough in the first corner with Matthias. Had a great launch, but I just managed to squeeze him into T2, and from there on we made some small changes in between semi-final and final to try to get some more performance when the tires are warm and used for one run. And yeah, second launch was much better. From there on I tried to really focus on until 5 laps, to be honest, and then the last lap I just enjoy, and I said on the radio, this is feeling exactly, you know, it reminds me of last year, cruising to the finish on the last lap. So yeah, fantastic team effort to get the launches perfect this weekend as well.
Now, once the dust has settled, will you think about the fact that you've broken another record and massively increased your championship lead?
Yeah, when everything is settled, yes, but for sure, I mean, now I will just enjoy tonight. It used to be a good party here in Riga, so I'm prepared to party with all the fans in Riga.
Look forward to it. See you later.
Thank you.
He partied last time in Riga. Of course, he was the world champion then. Interesting that he's up for a few tonight as well. So good to see Johan in relaxed mode. He goes up to join the second and third place drivers on the podium already. And look at the fans there. Shakes hands with Matthias Ekström. Ekström would have loved to have beaten him, but I think it was clear looking at the semi-final and the final with equal tyres between the two cars that Johan has just got a little bit more pace.
He does indeed, Andrew, and I think those guys have looked up to him enough on the podium this year, haven't they? As well as a few other people who have been on the podium, but it's almost like a carbon copy, isn't it, at the moment? But it's good to see 3 different manufacturers.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. They are all up there. And also, great, as I say, to see Niklas Gronom just, you know, the one place away from the podium. He's been in fourth a couple of times this year. We've seen Loeb beat Johan. We nearly saw Audi beat them last time. So, yes, he is dominating. But as I say, this has happened in previous seasons. And also, in terms of winning margins, it's extremely close this year. We've had a couple of the closest winning margins ever this season with all 6 cars. The Monster Energy girls are off as fast as they can because they know the champagne's coming,
Very gentlemanly of them to pose for photographs first.
Yeah. Now the champagne for the crowd. They're going to do the crowd. I think that was a quick agreement with Ekström. Nicely done, Matthias. Great for the fans to be able to get so close to the podium too. You know, they're not across a racetrack on a podium, you know, 50 feet high. They're right there. Ching, ching, gents. Thank you very much. Here we go then. Another fantastic weekend in Latvia. Guy Wilkes, thank you very much for joining me. There's another Brit. Look, Liam Doran. It's been fun. You enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, this track has always thrown up entertaining events, whether it's rain or whether it's dry. They've put on a fantastic show. Like I said, hats off to Johan Kristoffersen.
Thank you very much, Guy Wilkes. Kevin Hansen fought his way back. Look, there have been problems for a few people. Nico Müller didn't get quite the result that he got last year. But good racing, lots of people making that undercut right at the end. That's been the big one for me, is how much the fans have enjoyed this fantastic event. On to the semi-finals. Of course, Solberg, it didn't work out for him. Watch this, he just gets a little nudge from the rear from Schischrit, and that means that he ends up with just a little tap in the wall. Nothing like last year, but still, Latvia is the bogey event for him. Timmers Yarnov tried very hard, couldn't quite get it done. Kristoffersen took the flag in the first of the semis. Baccarat, look at that start. He tried so hard to get through between the Peugeots, but he couldn't. Loeb hit the wall, and yet somehow he still managed to come out of it with no damage on the car. 3 Peugeots in this one. There he is, the previous winner of this event. We thought he might have something to say about Kristoffersen's performance, but in the end, it wasn't quite enough. Ekstrom did move to the inside to protect that line. He was in P2. He did chase the champion, but the champion has done it again. He set another new record here. 6 TQs in a row. That equals the number of TQs in a season. 8 wins in a season. That is a new record for the number of wins. He's in a fantastic run of form. Will he be the first winner in the next event, which of course is the first time the World Rallycross Championship goes to the Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas, in a fortnight's time. Hope you'll be joining us then. We're about to load up a load of Rallycross cars and go and send it in America. See you in 2 weeks.
Matthias, it was great to see a good fight out there all weekend, and you must be very happy with that podium and moving up in the championship standings.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fighting every weekend to try and win a race again, and you have to be honest that even when we hit our sweet spot and we do everything right, we can beat the other Johan off the start, but then around the track he have the edge on us, so we are fighting with everything we have to try and get closer, and we do come closer, but still we are missing that bit to be able to challenge them around the laps, so I must say I'm happy we had a trouble-free weekend on my car, except the bog in one heat, which was what can happen, what shouldn't. But generally, I'm happy we had a decent weekend. I'm just sorry for Nico and Andreas in their semi-final. Went from looking pretty good to not so good, so that was a hard hit. But again, I mean, I can't say more than we will keep fighting. Few less and less races to go, and for the moment, there's nothing left than just to fight until the very end.
Well done. Also, just a quick word about Reynes. You must be very proud of him, of course. You worked very closely with him last year. Do you think he's moved up a gear as a driver? Now he's European Rallycross champion?
Yeah, I just congratulated him before, and I actually asked him as a little present if he wanted to have a go in an Audi again. So tomorrow we have a test day here, but he looked a bit shocked, so we'll see if he would like to, because I think Reynes is a great guy, person, and here in Riga and Latvia he is really a good represent for rallycross and for motorsport, but also I think the year he were with us, probably he learned a lot and had a tough time. Having a winter to digest it, coming back and doing a really good season, I think he deserves it, and who knows, maybe he will be back in the IKS family next year.
Thank you, well done.
Cheers.
Sebastian, you had some great pace this weekend and some great racing. A podium at the end of it,